What is up, everyone? I am Alan. We're here on my YouTube channel, AG Reviews. We got a very special episode here today where we're going to talk about Scream, which is one of my favorite horror franchises of all time. Um, Phil, you look a little scared there.
Yes. That was my ghost face. That was my typical.
Your ghost face impression. I tried to do that for the cover photo. I was like, all right, I was the only one doing it. You guys are both super serious, and I'm over here like,
Oh damn!
yeah.
If you had told us, I would have tried something.
No, it's cool. Yeah, it's okay. So we're here to talk about Scream. Obviously, I got Phil here. How's it going, Phil?
Hi. Hello. Howdy.
And then
Hello, Sydney.
and then Ian here as well. How you doing, Ian?
It's an honor.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yep. So obviously, we're here to talk about Scream. And we got the release coming of Scream 7 here at the end of the month. We obviously, us three have been talking about doing this stream for quite some time. I was kind of pushing it off a little bit in hopes that, a trailer was coming, but it doesn't look like we're going to be getting that before the release of the movie.
Just fine.
So we can kind of, I was going to hold off on talking about 7 though at first, and I kind of wanted to talk about like our personal histories with Scream. When did you get into the franchise? What it means to you, and pretty much how you feel about the franchise. I'll defer. I can let you start out, Phil, if you want to give maybe a little background. Have any memories or anything like that watching Scream?
I don't want to assume, but I think I am the oldest one here.
I believe so. I think Ian is the youngest, and
I think I'm the youngest.
Yeah, and I'm the middle child. So.
Because I just turned 34 in January.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty.
Yeah,
sure
I'll be 31 this year. So
yeah,
a couple years behind, but yeah.
And Ian, you're 28.
25.
Oh, okay, I feel really bad now.
No, you're okay.
I remembered it was a 2. It started with a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
okay.
a 2.
I am the old man here. Well, for starters, there was a couple movies that really stuck with me in frame of reference as a young child, and those movies were, you have your introductory movies like Jurassic Park and Star Wars, and then, if you're a lucky young chap who can handle a little bit of spook and gore, and among other things, I had 2 babysitters. One lived up the street from me, and it was one of our old neighbors, and then the other was my older cousin, and both of them showed me R-rated movies at the age of 6. My babysitter up the street showed me Terminator at age 6, and then like a week later, my cousin Desiree had a friend over, and she was like, okay, you need to go to sleep because we're going to watch a scary movie. I was like, I won't be afraid. She goes, no, it's an R-rated scary movie. You can't watch this. People are going to get stabbed. And I was like, I don't care. I want to watch it. She goes, all right, but if you get scared, it's on you. I said, okay. So I watched Scream at age 6, right? And so this is circa 1998.
Okay. Yeah.
So this was right before the second one came out.
Yeah.
If not somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the first movie at that young of an age, and watching Drew Barrymore just get gutted through the chest is at 6 years old, you're just like, oh, yeah, okay. And it's not every day that a 6-year-old should be shown a hanging corpse.
Yeah.
And then you cut to the opening credits, right? There are things in Terminator and Scream that just stick with me, and just images in my mind that I just cannot ever erase, cinematography wise, and people, I'll tell them the scene, I'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I was warped at a very, very young age. I for whatever reason, you cannot get out of your mind, Drew Barrymore just getting stabbed in that opening shot, much like you can never not watch Michael Biehn and Linda Hamilton get it on at the end of the first Terminator movie. There are those 2 movies and things that happen in those movies where I'm just like, yep, that stuck with me all these years later.
Yeah.
And it wasn't not long after that that I'd watched 2 and 3. Like I had watched
Mhm.
3 as a young teenager, like 13, 14, well after 2 and 3 had come out, but before they decided to go and do 4. So I remember watching 2 and 3, and I've always just been kind of a staunch back then, growing up before college, before the 4th film, before all this, I was pretty staunch in the idea that like those 3 movies, that was a perfect trilogy back then, comparatively to a lot of other films and trilogies at the time. And now you have the luxury of 3 other movies to compare it to. So it's no longer a trilogy, now it's a saga. And now we're getting the 7th movie, right?
Yeah.
So when it came to Scream 4, I was graduating high school when that movie came out. And I remember seeing that with my best friend at the time, and we saw it as like a graduation present to ourselves because we were both 18. We had, we were just like, fuck it, we can go see an R-rated movie, right?
Yeah.
So that was one of the first movies we saw. We saw that. It was also the year of the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot too. And I was,
yeah.
man, you guys have just really pissed in the Cheerios of Wes Craven this year. Good job. But man, that 4th movie was, I remember coming out of it thinking, okay. And then you get online and it's like, oh, people are not happy about this movie for a number of reasons. It's essentially, it very quickly became the bastard child of the Scream franchise, and I was kind of taken aback by that.
Yeah.
And they held off on making another Scream movie for another decade.
12 years or 11 years, yeah.
Oh, you're right, 11 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
and then 5 and 6 happened, and I was like, okay, I won't say no to more Ghostface. I mean, I like the character. I was Ghostface for Halloween a number of times. Did I reuse the same costume multiple times? I will neither confirm or deny. The same mask, absolutely. Same hood, maybe not. I mean, he's the character of Ghostface has become so synonymous with horror in the same way that you have, Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and all the other manner of horror icons you could name. At this point, I don't even think you could. I mean, yeah, you can make a Mount Rushmore, but at this point, like it's just there's a horror house of characters to choose from at this point. And I think Ghostface. If someone told me that Ghostface was their favorite horror icon, I would not argue with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would be the one to tell you that, to be honest.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, obviously, let's just go age, right? Because I'm assuming we all probably had different experiences with Scream. For me, I'll be 31 this year, so the first trilogy was already completed by the time I was 5. So I wasn't. I didn't, get to experience it in theaters or anything like that. Any of that original trilogy. But like you, Phil, it was kind of when I did finally get to see those movies, it was really like a core memory for me. I actually, as a child, with about 4 of my other cousins, watched the entire trilogy on VHS. By the way, I don't even know if Ian knows what that is.
I still own VHSs. Yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I watched the entire trilogy in one night with like 4 of my cousins, and we started it at like midnight. So we basically pulled an all-nighter to watch the entire trilogy because we weren't allowed to watch it. We had not the strictest parents, but definitely parents that did not want us watching, as Phil described it, people being gutted and hung from trees.
Yeah.
That must have been really surreal watching that movie at like 1 o'clock.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And the final act of the first movie happens and Stu Macher's fucking sitting there as Billy Loomis is walking behind. It's like, oh my God, that's gotta be something funny.
Yeah. It was surreal. And, it in that moment, I was a fan for life. Honestly, the 2 moments of the night when I watched the trilogy that stuck with me the most was, like you said, obviously the opening scene with Drew Barrymore. Because at that point, my little, I was either 6 or 7. I don't remember like specifically what year it was. My little, child brain had only seen Drew Barrymore in E.T., right? So that was like my image of her going into that movie. And then to get that opening scene definitely was a gut punch. But also the one that really devastated me was when they killed Randy in Scream 2. That was the one that was like the gut punch, when I was growing up. And I think that even kind of morphed me to like prefer the second one, as I was growing up. Opinions change over time, obviously, as you get older and you get contextualize stuff and understand movies a little bit better when you're older. So yeah, so like that first trilogy, that was it was a core memory. I remember watching the Creed. I kind of posted about it a couple weeks ago. The Creed "What If" music video on the VHS tape after the credits rolled on Scream 3. I'm like, anytime I hear that song or see that video, it's like just immediately brings me back to that time. So yeah, so that original trilogy was so great. And then 4, I was 16 when 4 came out. So I was, right in the middle of high school. That was like my formative years. So getting to experience that one as like my first theatrical experience with Scream. I mean, I was at the time when, the internet was early on, I was looking up a million different theories, watching any piece of media I could related to it. And I actually love Scream 4. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how different our rankings are going to be here, but that one ranks pretty high for me. And yeah, and then obviously 2, 5, and 6, we got that, another decade later, and I'm at definitely a different time in my life right now. I have a family and I'm married and have been for a while, so just kind of experience that now. Yeah, it's just I love this franchise. I mean, that's just really what it is. And like you said, movies like Scream, like Terminator, T2 specifically for me, like that was my big action movie from that time frame.
Right.
And like you, I watched those all kind of around at the same time. So yeah, Scream's always just been, whenever there's a new movie, no matter controversy, what's going on behind the scenes, I'm there day one. I can't do it. So, all right, what about you, Ian? What's your history? Because like you're a little bit younger than us, so I don't know.
I'm very curious to hear this.
Yeah, it's curious to see like when you joined and when you were hooked in this franchise.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see any of I guess besides the newest ones in theaters, and I wish I could have. But it's weird. Funny enough, indirectly, I I knew of Scream through Scary Movie. Funny enough, because I had watched that before I had watched the Scream franchise. Because when I was younger, I wanted to watch all these parody movies and stuff.
Yep.
But when I got older, which was probably closer to high school, I ended up watching the trifecta for me, which it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream, and then Nightmare on Elm Street, and those were my core 3 for a while. And Scream 1 was always in the rotation, and eventually, obviously, I got to watching the sequels, and I loved 2, and I think 3. Yeah, we'll talk about it later, but yeah, I think I enjoyed 3 for what it is, and I do like 4 as well quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, it's not much of a story. It's just funny to think I saw the "What's Up" guy, and I was like, oh wait, they're parodying, they're parodying Ghostface. But yeah, I mean, distinctly too, like Phil brought up, he's one of those horror icons that most people will just see and know, even if they've never watched the movies. Yeah. And for me, that was kind of what it was until I actually got to watch them and appreciate them a lot. And now it's my favorite horror franchise, especially with me. I love slashers, and rewatching this, whole 6 films and everything is just kind of it's like a comfort, just kind of going back to these mostly, especially for the ranking too. I got to rewatch them, which my opinions have changed a little bit, but most of them have stayed the same. But yeah, I mean, it, and then of course, whenever I was in college, that's when the 2 newest ones had come out. So I had watched 2022s in theaters with some friends, and I actually had brought a date to go see the 6th one. No longer with her, of course, but it was still experience. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those ones, and I mean, I love it so much that I don't know if I could get it in the camera, but I got a tattoo of Ghostface right there.
Oh
yeah,
that's cool. Yeah,
I mean, if I had to pick my favorite horror icon, it would be Ghostface, I think, probably. So yeah.
I mean, I don't know, just the kind of the template that was created in that original film. It's it's just a slasher whodunit, and I think in all 6 films, and that's the one thing I like about this franchise. I think there's something good in all 6 films. I don't think there's a bad film here. I mean, we're gonna do our rankings, obviously, but to me, it's it's least best to best. That's where we're going here, and that's what I think. And even if we have different rankings, right, different movies in different spots, I think that is just a testament to how good the franchise is, because everyone has their different favorites and what they appreciate from each movie. So yeah, I might have lost my train of thought there. But yeah, just like you said, Ghostface, very iconic. A part of history in general in the sense of horror, and obviously the duo of Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson, I think, is one of the best ever. Chainsaw, I can't wait for Scream 20. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of sequels, right?
Is he gonna be in it?
I still think it's working. Yeah, yeah. And he wants to cuddle. He wants to cuddle everyone here.
He
So.
always wants to cuddle. Fucking weird, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so to kind of piggyback off that, we're going into 7, right? We got the release coming out here soon. What I'll kind of start off, like, my expectations. I'm very 50-50 on this film right now. I think everything that we've seen so far, I've liked. I don't think we've had any bad trailers or anything like that. And I kind of wanted to start off with that, and I didn't really mention it, but the marketing has been a weird one because I feel like with previous entries in the franchise, we've kind of been given a lot in the marketing. Like, we knew a lot going into those films, and it seems like they're deliberately hiding things in the marketing right now. And obviously we know some of the cast announcements and who's coming back. But what do you guys think about how the marketing has been so far and how it seems so secretive compared to the past films?
Why don't you go ahead and take this, Ian?
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Alan. I think, it is really weird because especially with 2022 and then 6, it just felt like they were definitely trying to push it more. But yeah, we're not getting as much as we usually do because I can't really tell you exactly who I'd think. Like, usually when it was 6 and 5, it was like you got that a lot more footage and you were like trying to guess like who it could be. With this one, I have no idea. I mean, I know we have the cast announcements, but that doesn't lead me to believe anyone could be Ghostface necessarily, which, I mean, I wouldn't want to be that person to be like, oh, I want to find out right before I go see the movie. But, just a little bit of a better idea. And plus, like, yeah, I guess, I don't know. It could be because of the controversy, but at the same time, I figured they'd want it to succeed. I mean, they're kind of riding on this one a little bit, I feel like, but they're also still not trying to market it as much. But I guess if you, Phil, you have your thoughts on it for it.
Yeah. And two, I think they just reported that the early projections are looking at like a 30 million opening weekend for it, which I think if I'm correct, is would be the second biggest opening in the franchise behind 6. So it's obviously a little bit lower, right, than what we got. But people are still excited for it. I know the views have been pretty good on all the marketing and the trailers and
it's good,
all that stuff. So it's looking good. But I don't know. I think it's weird because I'm like, if you were in the weeds kind of when the movies came out, it was like for Scream 6, like the killers were leaked like 3 weeks before they came out. Like there was literally a photo of the reveal, and it ended up being real. I got spoiled. I was really pissed.
Damn.
I heard about it. Didn't see it.
Yeah, it's like it literally was the photo of the 3 killers, like all revealing themselves, and I'm like, oh, wonderful. That was great to know before going into it. But and then 5, like if you go back and watch the original trailer for 5, there are so many big spoilers. Like you see Amber on fire in the kitchen. You see the scene where she runs out and like does the fake out with Cindy and Gale. I'm like, damn, they really weren't trying to hide, who the killers were in that. So I don't know. It just feels like the nature of the movie is like they're really trying to hide something here, and we obviously could go into who's coming back and what we think about that. But yeah, I mean, did you have anything, any thoughts on the marketing or anything, Phil?
I think when you have a film like this and it went through the throes of pre-production that it did, in that, you had 2 of your main stars exit the project for one reason or another. Not even getting into the throes or the why, the hows and the whys, because that's none of our business, right? And then you have the director from, I believe it was Happy Death Day, who came in, was going to initially do 7. And then everything happened with Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. And then he was like very publicly like, I wish everyone around me would just stop screaming. And it was just like, could you have made any more of a damn fool of yourself?
Yeah, literally.
So
Yeah.
when Kevin Williamson was announced to be coming back and Spyglass kind of went to Neve Campbell with their tail between their legs and went, how much do you want?
Yeah.
And Neve Campbell probably went half. Smart on her, right?
Yeah.
Am I disappointed with what happened with Barrera and Ortega? Yes. Am I disappointed with how Spyglass handled that situation? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it was a short-sighted, dumb decision on their part for you fired someone over an opinion. That is the bottom line, bottom barrel, dumbest shit you can do in America right now.
Yeah.
Period, bar none, end of conversation. This has been an ongoing thing since 2024 before they even made the goddamn movie. And whether or not Jenna Ortega left because of that or because it was scheduling conflicts, we'll never really know. I would venture to guess that she told her publicist to say, yeah, you can tell them scheduling conflicts or something. There's a part of me that's like, no, she was standing in solidarity with Melissa.
I think she was. I think it was a little bit of both, though, because she obviously did have a very busy schedule at that time.
That's true.
You know,
You're not wrong.
Yeah, so I think it was like, hey, maybe if that didn't happen, I would try to make it work. And then once that happened, she was like, no, fuck you, I'm not doing this.
So when it came to the making of this movie, and we got all the names of the people that are coming back, right? Like all the names, the big names that made you raise an eyebrow, like, wait a minute, how, right? And then the marketing of this movie kicked in. Of the marketing pieces that I have seen, I've been trying to just not, because I just don't want to. I want to go into this movie as
blind,
unknown as possible, right? Like I know the history of this franchise. You don't need to beat it over my head. I'm not the person you're trying to sell to go see this movie. Matter of fact, the people who are bitching and moaning about Melissa Barrera not being in this movie and they're saying they're going to boycott this movie, bullshit. You're going to watch this movie. I'm calling it right now. You're gonna watch this movie whether you admit it on the internet or not.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the marketing, it's been fine. Like just in general, they did what they needed to do. They leaned on the character that they fucked up by not bringing in the sixth one. They made it all about. They made the story all about her, and I think it's a smart idea. But also, I also think it's really smart if you pay really close attention. If you're a huge fan of this franchise, you know damn good and well who's saying the line. It's going to be fun.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And so, I think that's where the marketing, because obviously that was announced, right? That Matthew Lillard's coming back. That was
and
announced.
He's been talking about it a lot.
Yeah. And I think that's the part of it I'm a little surprised by, because I think I just expected them to lean into that a little bit more than they have. And I'm like, I don't know. I just felt like when they announced it that they were like, okay, we're going to really push this going into 7 to get those asses in the seats, essentially. And, you know, I like hearing his voice, right? I can't deny that. And when I hear it, I'm like, oh shit, I'm excited. I want to see that man again on screen as his character. I just thought it would be more, you know. That's why I said I wanted to wait for a second trailer, because I thought maybe
also
we're gonna get a little more. But yeah,
dude playing Rich. What is the brother's name? Roman. Thank you.
Yeah, Roman.
He's back too, but we haven't heard a peep.
Yeah. I think, I mean, if you pay attention to what he's kind of said in public, I think his role is going to be substantially smaller than what Matthew Lillard is going to do.
Are we convinced that AI is playing a part in this movie?
It's possible. Maybe.
I was gonna say maybe we can get into theories, you know, on what we think is going to happen in this movie. Yeah, I think AI is definitely going to play a part. Because both Scott Foley, you know, Roman, and David Arquette are confirmed for this movie.
Oh, yeah, David Arquette.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And you actually heard him in the first trailer. A lot of people didn't pick up on that when I think he said a line like, anyone who's close to you always ends up dead, or something like that. Like, if you go back and listen, that was Dewey. So I think when it comes to those two characters, it's absolutely going to be AI, because those characters were brutally killed. Like, I think with Stu, there's a little bit of wiggle room there. The believability is a little, but I think there's wiggle room. There's not.
I don't know, man. You got a TV dropped on your head. That's
but
I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but I'm just saying,
I'll
like
I'll
I
say
think
if they pull like a Hannibal Lecter Red Dragon with it, and he's all like just deformed and disfigured, and he's in like an asylum or some shit, and he's manipulating things. I don't know. Maybe I would laugh, but
Yeah, because
I don't know.
I would like to see how they would explain that too. Because then, if you're finding out later, he's like like you said in an asylum, like how would no one have known, right?
Right.
But I guess they could just say, "Oh, I don't know, kept it a secret for some." I was gonna say too. I was remembering that. Am I wrong in this? That I remember when the marketing for 3 had come out, it was something like they had different scripts with different endings as
Yes.
way to not let people like spoil it for everyone or something like that. I believe.
I think so.
yes,
Yeah. That would be
And
cool.
obviously, the Stu is alive theory has originated from a very early version of the
Yeah.
Scream 3 script, where
Mhm.
I think it was even still when Kevin Williamson was attached to write it, because he didn't end up writing, the version of Scream 3 that we got.
Right.
Mhm.
And in one of those early scripts, Matthews kind of talked about it publicly. He was supposed to be alive and in jail and kind of controlling, a cult of Ghostface that were all high school kids. And then at the time, the Columbine shooting happened, and that kind of
Put the
changed
boss on that
the
idea.
course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it changed the course of that movie. So I think that's why, that theory has stayed so strong and so prevalent. And obviously, look, we're obviously going to rank our ghost faces here soon. Stu Macher's one of the best. Like he's one of the OG, and he's one of the best. He's one of the most charismatic. People want him back. I kind of agree with you though, Ian, where I think if he is alive, man, they really got some explaining to do.
Yeah.
There's got to be something that's not trying to trick us, right? This series has never been that type of series, right, where people come back from the dead or anything like that. So they're doing the 7th would be a little crazy.
It reminds me of how in the Fast and Furious franchise, how they try to like explain how someone comes back, like when Han was like, "Oh, he's not dead because there was a hologram in the car and he was working for." It's like, it's like whatever, dude. I mean, you could explain it all you want, but it still doesn't make
Makes
sense.
no sense. Yeah,
but we'll see. I mean, I'm just happy that he's coming back. So I mean, I'll just take what it is, and I'll probably do what Phil said. I'll just laugh. I'll just laugh at whatever explanation they try to give us. But
I think obviously too, a lot of it's going to come down to execution, right? And I think that's where I'm a little worried, right? Like that initial feeling of hearing that he's back had me very excited, but I'm like, if they can easily screw this up and jump the shark, and it.
I think if it was anyone who wasn't Kevin Williamson, there's a greater chance of being screwed up.
Yeah.
But I think having him in the director's chair and I think also in the writer's chair this time, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So writing wise, I know he originally was not writing the film, but it looks like in the process of filming, he probably tweaked the script, if I had to imagine.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, because he got credited. Now the other writer that is attached was actually one of the writers from the team from 5 and 6. So
yeah, that tracks.
People thinking that we're just going back to what they did before. I'm like, not necessarily, because we got the same writing team coming back.
The two twins are back too.
Yeah, the Meeks twins. Yeah. So I think they did that intentionally to kind of give some connection to it, because I seen some people when the movie was first announced after
Mindy Meeks has more or less become the Randy.
Pretty much, yeah.
She is the new Randy of this saga. I'm not even trying to be like a jerk about, but they've intentionally made her the new Randy.
The new
Meeks.
Randy, yeah.
And
So
I think that's by design, I think, too.
Oh, for sure, yeah, for sure. But they clearly wanted to have some connection to those films, because there was a new generation of people who came to Scream from those movies.
Now, what are the over under that Jamie Kennedy makes an appearance in a cameo?
I mean, hey, I know he would do it if they asked, for sure.
Probably. It wouldn't be too hard to like de-age him and digitally
do it.
It wouldn't be that hard.
Well, see, and that's the thing too. We can kind of talk a little bit about 5 and 6. I hated the de-aging they did for Billy. I thought it looked like shit, personally. I don't know. It didn't work for me. Like, especially in 6, I was like,
See?
that was
This is where those times where a rewatch probably would have helped me because
yeah,
I rewatched them around Halloween last year.
yeah,
Mhm.
So it's like I'm not saying I disagree or agree, but it's like one of those things where it's like if I had freshly watched this, I
Well,
could
yeah.
give a more concrete opinion on it.
yeah.
I just watched those 2 last night to, cap it off. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. 5 was okay, but yeah, 6 was kind of rough.
Yeah, that
6
one I was
pretty
like,
rough.
okay. So,
Yeah.
but that's kind of why I like the if we are going the AI route, because then you can just have them be older and be like, oh well,
Yeah, that's true.
this is what they would have looked like, right? You know, and if they would
Well,
have lived.
That's why I like Randy whenever he makes that video for 3.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm rewatching it. Again, it goes back to the original script where it was supposed to be Stu. Like everything he says in that movie, in that video, could have been applied towards Stu coming back. But
Yeah,
you never know.
it's very true.
I think it's
No.
pretty apparent that whoever's terrorizing Sydney this time around, it's they know where she is. They know like, and that's the part you could argue that people online are probably like, so we're just doing this again. Sydney Prescott gets found, and I'm like, yeah, no shit. That's the point. Scream. She's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
character
Exactly.
in 5 of the 6 movies.
Yeah.
But without
Yeah.
her, this franchise isn't even a thing. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's too like where like, and we kind of talked about it before the show started. It's gotten a little bit toxic on both sides, but
yeah,
and I'm like it's both ways. I think the people who are diehard Sydney fans are being really kind of distasteful towards like Melissa Barrera and those films,
Yeah.
and then vice versa. And then the people who are fans of those movies are kind of giving Nev Campbell no credit, even though she's one of the most iconic final girls of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, come on, guys. So
I think there's ample room for the other two to come back.
agreed.
I mean, obviously there has to be some behind the scenes reparations made between
Yeah.
Spyglass and all parties involved, sure.
Yeah.
Because again, in my opinion, I look at that situation, I'm like, Spyglass, you done fucked up.
Yeah.
But I think there's a way you can have them come back for future installments and carry the franchise forward. But I also think there's something to be said about doing legacy characters justice if they're around to do it, because you don't want, and I don't want to just continue to devolve this conversation to another franchise, but just specifically, you don't want to run into a situation where you end up like Lucasfilm, where you have, 3 movies and none of your legacy characters interact in any of the 3 movies at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Which we almost didn't. We almost had that here, but they didn't interact in person at least. But
right.
Dewey had the phone call with Nev and Gale, and that was all we got. And,
Yeah.
but hey, maybe through AI, we're gonna get a reunion in this one. You never know.
I'm wondering if someone is going to die in this movie, like someone big, like
Yeah.
a name, like a staple name, because they killed Dewey in 5. They didn't even hesitate to do it. If I had something I didn't really like in 5, I was kind of miffed at the fact that it was Annie who murked Dewey. I was like, God damn it.
Oh,
Amber?
Yeah.
Amber, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of I think that goes to a flaw of the franchise that like all the stunt guys that are always in the costume are like 6'4".
Yep.
And they're like, and then Amber comes out and she's like, I killed Dewey, and I'm like, you're like 5'3" and you were towering over Dewey. Like, okay.
Right. I have a really hard time. You got the one up on Dewey and cut him to shit. Like, no.
Yeah. Now, have you heard any of the theories that people think that was Stu? I'm like, he's live, okay. Yeah, but basically, it's going to be. People think that he'll be revealed that he was the mastermind behind some of the last couple movies.
So you think? Are you? Is what you're saying? One of the prevailing theories, is that Kevin Williamson and all parties involved reworked ideas from the original Scream 3 into this. Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, that's what a lot of people think, because I guess
wouldn't be mad.
It wouldn't. Yeah,
wouldn't be mad.
No, and I think that's what because there was a conversation that Matthew said after he got cast, where Kevin called him and like basically told him like, "Hey, shut the fuck up! Stop talking! Stop talking in public! I got some ideas for you." So when I heard that, I was like, "Ooh, that seems a little
too specific."
Yeah, I was like, "Why would you want him to stop talking about what happened and that history?"
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I'll kind of, I'll kick it off with theories. My Stu is Alive theory is one I've had one for pretty much since 5. And on my rewatch specifically, I noticed a couple of details that I think even the Radio Silence team left in there for him being alive. So the marketing of this movie has been burn it all down. That's been the central focus, burn it all down. So my theory that I've had for a couple of years, but has kind of been tweaked a little bit because of, what we've seen in the footage and everything in this film. Mm-hmm. I do believe Stu's alive. I believe there's obviously a psychiatric hospital at play. We've seen that. That's been in footage so far that's been released. I'm sorry if you didn't know that, Phil.
No, I did.
Because I know you said you're staying away from stuff, so I'm like, I don't want to.
No, that's why I brought it up, because it's one of the things I noticed in the trailer.
Okay. So I think at one point, obviously taking a TV to a head caused some serious damage to Stu, physically and mentally. I'm of the belief that I think Stu is alive. I think he was like in a weird trans psychiatric state for many, many years, and maybe came out of it in the last couple of years. And he's pissed off because of the way that the legacy of Ghostface and what he did back in 96 has played out, where he has kind of been looked at as the second fiddle to Billy. And as Stu, now in thinking in his mind, if he's alive, it's 30 years later, he wants to prove and say, hey, I'm the only one who survived. I'm the baddest of them all. And that theory, I really felt like when I watched Scream 5 again, and you get the opening scene with Jenna Ortega, and she's on the phone, and the killer asks, who are the two killers in the original film? Or not two killers. He just asks, who's the killer of the original film? And she says, Billy Loomis. In a very sadistic way, he says, oh, that's just not correct. It's Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. And when I hear that, I'm like, yeah, if he had been alive all this time, and then he, like I said, he was in I don't know if you want to call it a coma or a trance where he wasn't all right in the head. And then maybe he had a moment where he came to clarity, and he's pissed off because people look at him like the second fiddle. So he's coming back to burn it all down and say, I'm that guy. I'm that motherfucker. So that's my theory. That's Stu's alive for that reason.
Yeah.
It's not even specifically towards Sydney. Like, it's not even like he wants revenge towards Sydney. He just wants everything that was there before gone and to take over.
As well as to the mention in 2022, also in 6, Mindy brought up, like, when looking at the TV, she's like, well, if you believe, if you believe he's dead.
Yeah.
So.
And, look, Stu, look at the house that he lived in. I mean, his parents had a lot of money. Just saying, you never know. And he could have been in a psychiatric hospital, not because he was, like, in trouble or with the law or anything like that. Maybe he changed his name and they just put him there because he was fucking cuckoo after having a TV thrown on his head. Now, it's not obviously it's not a very detailed and specific. Like, again, I don't really know how they're going to explain how he survived and how he's been not noticed by anyone all these years. There's definitely some dots that writers who are smarter than me have to connect, but that's kind of my general idea of why I think he might be back and orchestrating this whole thing.
No, I think I think that's probably what they would end up doing. But like you said, yeah, we'll have to see how they like fill in those gaps about like why he would. I would like why to straight up, like, nah, no one. Oh no, the second fiddle thing. Everyone's like, it was Stu. We only care about Billy, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's even kind of like in the fandom. Like, I know Stu's like his performance was really good, obviously.
Oh yeah,
but like when you look at like the grand scheme of things, Billy's obviously the one who took the shine, and the legacy guy. So
because I mean, he had more to offer, in my opinion, than like other like sort of like the second of the main ghost, the bee killer, because rewatching them like this past weekend and yesterday, it's just like, I mean, he's been the one that I've stuck with being like, he's on par, in my opinion. Like, he's way better than any of the B list, ones for sure. Because
I think there's one that compares with him, but we'll kind of get into that in the rankings. But
okay,
the follow up one, that's the one I'll say.
Oh, okay, okay.
But But I also think even if it's not Stu, I think like the whole burn it all down theory is pretty solid too, because I think clearly whoever is doing this like hates whatever legacy was left. And that's why they're going back after Sydney. Like, and I mean, honestly, some people have theorized Leslie Mocker, his sister, which, you know, that wouldn't be bad either. It would be a little familiar because we've done the family member coming back for revenge a couple times now. But,
Yeah.
you know, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
But, you know, you never know.
Yeah,
Do you guys have any theories on what you think might, when it comes to maybe motives or where we're going here in 7?
I mean, I before the trailers for 7, I was kind of hoping they'd write something that they would have tried to, not necessarily Sydney, but like I was just hoping that. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know how the fandom feels or how y'all feel about it, but like, if I were to say that someone like Gale or someone were to like want to take on the mask, I could see it just because of what she's gone through from 5 and even 6, but also before that, because it's weird. In 6, I kind of caught this because they were really trying to hone in on it for some reason. But in 6, like with Gale being like the only legacy character, they they're really focusing on being like, oh, you're washed up. You're nothing without the ghost face. Yeah, like you're nothing without the books. You're nothing without the movie. You're just a hack journalist or whatever. And I was like, I mean, that sounds like, I mean, obviously we know it wasn't her, but I could see a good motive there if they were to want to pursue it. But I'm pretty sure they're not, which is fine. I guess this isn't really a theory, but this is what I was wondering about it before the 7th trailer came out, or the Scream 7 trailer came out. So I was kind of like wondering if they would want to go that route. But I mean, with Stu in the mix, with Roman, I was kind of like, it doesn't seem like it anymore, obviously. And they were probably never going to do it in the first place. But I mean, yeah, I do like your theory though. I don't have much other theories. I think the Stu theory is probably like the one I would have suggested as well. I don't have as much detail as yours, but
yeah.
The
like I said, that
yeah.
one was one that I've kind of stewed on, no pun intended.
Whoa.
For a couple of years. For a couple of years, right? Because I mean, honestly, when I went to go see 5 in theaters, like when I saw Stu's house in the marketing, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, they're gonna honor Wes's legacy by doing the movie that he never got to do for Scream 3, but you know, they obviously didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, but you're right though. I mean, they're honing in as well. Like, even if they're not actually showing Stu in the trailers, they're like, "Oh, the old Mocker house is now a
Airbnb,
museum, or whatever." Like, you remember? Did y'all ever see that? There was American Horror Stories, like that anthology series where they had that one episode where they went to the house and was like, "Oh man, this is awesome. We're such big fans." So that's what it got. I got that vibe from that. So if they're really wanting to focus on that kind of like those details, I'm sure, I'm sure your theory was probably going to come up in some way. I don't know how they'll do it, but they'll probably be there. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got any maybe theories on motives or who's the killer or what's going to happen here?
Not particularly. No, I like I said, I'm trying to go in as unknowing as possible. I initially I thought I heard something about AI possibly being in this movie. And when I heard that notion, you hear the names coming back, I'm like, well, it'd be very easy to say like, yeah, you can probably have their characters there and get away with some form of AI. Yeah. The reveal for them being there, but I don't know. I'm just kind of going in to be along for the ride and just kind of let the story tell me what's going on,
I feel like at least not with Roman and Dewey, they haven't really pushed it too hard, but I think there is gonna, like, because if you go read the comments in the trailers, like there are a lot of people that are like, oh no, he's alive, he's coming back, he's Ghostface, and I'm like, man, I still have the possibility in my mind that it's just AI or something and he's not actually alive. So I'm like, if that happens, I'm not going to be like super disappointed, but I'm like, I think there are some people out there who are kind of,
I think they're going to, I think if it doesn't happen, you're going to see a lot of like angry, pissed fans.
Yeah. Which I kind of get, because the way they're doing it does, like, they are trying to hint that he's here, but it's not outright telling you yes or no. Like, it seems like they're kind of trying to artificially create like the Andrew Toby thing that happened with No Way Home.
Maybe,
like that kind of is what it feels like to me. And I'm like, if you don't actually pull the trigger, though, some people are going to be upset about that and not be very happy and walk out disappointed. So
You know what? Bringing up the AI thing too, and rewatching 3, I was like, man, dude, Roman had the he had the earlier
Dude.
AI technology right there.
Ahead of its time.
Ahead of
Ahead
its
of
time.
its time. Yeah.
I don't really care as much as people complain about it being like, well, they've never been able to do that before. And I'm like, I don't care. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like that he could just make any voice with that changer. It's really cool.
That's the whole point of a voice changer. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
I know. That's
I
why
think it was at the time though, because you got to think that was in 2000, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Look, I think history has shown that rich people, and Roman was very rich. He was a director in Hollywood, have
That's true.
access to technology that the rest of the world does not. So I found that very believable, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
yeah, for sure. Okay, I'll just rapid fire real quick because I kind of want to move on to our ranking. I'll rapid fire my other two theories about the movie that I had. I think that if it's not my first theory, I wonder if there's going to be a scenario where it is another family member who's back for revenge, but this time it's not a killer. It's a victim from previous films. I don't know who, right? I don't really have an idea on who, but I wonder if that's a way that they can kind of change the status quo, but not really, right? Like it's still kind of the same, but it's a little bit different. So that was one. I heard that one online though. That one was not me. The first one is kind of my theory, but this one was not. I just heard it online. But I liked it when I heard it. I was like, okay, that would be an interesting twist. And then this one is, kind of one that's been talked about for a long time. I think no matter what, I think a killer survives this movie. I think we're finally going to do it.
Yeah.
I think because they haven't outright said it, but it is heavily rumored that 8 is already basically greenlit and is going to happen.
Okay.
So I think that there is a possibility that they do what they wanted to do with Scream 4 and
have
a killer survive. So
because they had a whole trilogy planned out, right, for 4 after 4, because they were like, Jill's going to be, okay.
And then, fucking dickhead Bob Weinstein made Wes Craven change it at the last minute. So,
fucking moron.
I know.
I'm like, not only was he a piece of shit, he ruined what could have been a really epic movie, ending of Scream 4.
Moron. Can't fix stupid. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay. So we'll go ahead and move on. We'll kind of start with maybe this one will not be a ranking. Ian, you kind of brought up this one. Before I didn't want to do a whole thing because obviously there are tons of kills.
There's
we couldn't really do that. So I figure we can go around and state what our favorite kill was of the franchise. I wonder if we're going to have a little overlap here. But Ian, since you came up with this one, I'll let you lead off.
Okay. Because I know we'll be having a ranking of the openings / kills, so I kind of wanted to go away from it, try to go with something that wasn't like in those particularly. Yeah, and it came to mind too that I was like, man, well, at least for me, and rewatching the first one, I was like, man, Tatum Riley, her kill with the garage door, I was like, damn. And also, you know what's funny about that? They don't ever give you the reaction that Dewey gets to see it. And I was like, why? Like, I've seen it so many times, and then I keep forgetting. I'm like, oh yeah, he just was like, he's in that, or it's probably that one. I also wouldn't mind. I'm sorry if I'm giving more than one, but
no, go ahead. Yeah.
Is it because also Amber's came to mind where I'm like, oh my god, her going on fire and then just running after them was pretty good too, awesome. And I like that. So it's either of those two. I kind of caught, I like those two.
What about you, Phil? What would you say is your favorite kill? It can be a part of the opening. I mean, come on.
Like, you can do the opening.
No.
Yeah,
mine's
you
not
can do it.
Oh no.
Oh wow. Okay.
My favorite death is Randy's.
Oh, okay.
You were holding that one. You remembered what I said at the beginning. You're like, yep,
brother.
all right.
Yeah, no. When Randy dies in 2, it's one of the most memorable deaths of all time in the whole franchise.
Yeah.
It's also just so bloody and they're like getting Sydney's reaction to seeing a dead Randy is an all-timer for her Scream Queen trophy. Yeah. Oh my god.
Or I think that was Gail. I think it was Gail.
Was it? It might have been Gail. Either one of them. One of them fucking screamed, but they were whichever one of them got the trophy for it. It was good.
Yeah, it was Gail, I think.
Yeah, right, that was the one.
Van. It was in her van.
Yeah. The camera van or the media van that she had.
Poor guy.
And also, you can just hear Jamie Kennedy just going, just his fucking ass off in that whole scene. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
that is pretty good.
Yeah. Like I said, that kill traumatized me as a kid, man, because I loved Randy. Like that
Makes sense. It's
and
brutal.
it was the first night that I had ever even watched the franchise. And
Damn.
oh, it was a knife.
It's
to
like
my
you come
heart,
off
to
the
be
first movie going, "Oh, good, Randy made it," and you go into the second one like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
yeah.
and then you watch Randy die, and you're like,
Shit.
Fuck, yeah.
Damn. Oh man.
And it wasn't even just me either. Like my cousins were all devastated.
Right.
We're like, oh
Right,
shit.
yeah.
Like it was bad. Yeah.
fuck."
Yeah, I mean, so favorite kill. So I don't know. Obviously, it's kind of general, right? What I look for in kills might be different than from you guys. The individual kill that I like the most, I think, which is kind of crazy to say, because it isn't an opening. I really like how Jada Pinkett Smith is killed in the theater, where
Ooh,
he
yeah.
sneaks in. I love how that whole scene plays out.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's a little bit of a spoiler, maybe where my opening kill is going to rank. It's not number one, but it's very close.
Yeah.
I really
I
like
love-
that kill. How, he sits in, acts like her boyfriend, then starts stabbing her. All the fans are all freaking out and everything.
Shit,
And then you
dude.
get the scene where she goes up on the, right in front of the movie screen. I'm like, damn. Because I
love how
think,
that-
I think back to like, when I went and saw like, I don't know, Avengers Endgame opening weekend. And I'm like, yeah, thinking about it, like if someone was just getting fucking massacred, I wouldn't have even fucking noticed at all until it was too late, So that felt felt real. I was like, that felt real. I was like, I enjoy that one.
Yeah, Stab, but it's funny that premiere looked like a nightmare though. Stab fans are crazy, dude.
Oh, dude, yeah, I would have been so pissed at that theater. Like nothing was happening, and they're all screaming and throwing popcorn at each other. I'm like, yeah.
But guys,
So-
Stabovision, that shit is awesome. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
right.
I actually really, this thing sound horrible.
Mm.
I love the way that this was parodied in Scary Movie.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Especially the dude's death. That was the greatest.
yeah. And oh man, when Brenda goes up to
Yeah.
will you shut the fuck up?
They all just start killing her. Yeah.
God
Oh
damn.
man,
Oh no,
I
but,
love it.
but
That was
Jada
so
Pinkett's death in
Yeah.
2, that is an all time. I've
Yeah.
said too much.
Yeah.
Said too much.
Yeah. Well,
Said too much.
We're getting
Well,
there. We're getting there.
I'll give just one last notable. I don't know why, but Captain Down, the guy that was like in the car with Sydney in Scream 2,
Oh,
just got that
yeah.
freaking.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that one. That was good.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
crazy. But
Yeah.
just the honorable mention.
Yeah. Honestly, I'll give one more too, and because it's kind of in the same sense of Randy. It was
Mhm.
it was a gut punch, but I think Dewey's kill was really well done. I know when you find out it's Amber, that makes it fucking way worse.
Yeah,
but in the
but-
moment, like the way he gets killed with the double
Mhm.
knife, and then you get
Yep.
that shot of Ghostface with the 2 knives and Dewey just dead on the floor. I was like,
Damn.
fuck.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty brutal.
But, yeah,
there are a couple gnarly ones in 4 that I did like.
Mm,
The barn house kill, I think that was a fun one.
yeah.
Or
That was pretty-
which one was the barn house? I'm trying to remember.
When they're all going to watch one of the stab movies at night, and
Mm.
I forget who got hurt. Someone got hurt.
Or Gail. I think it was Gail got attacked.
It might have been Gail. Yeah, Gail
Yeah.
got attacked. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
scene. I was like, okay, if we're gonna go after a new breed of high school kids, and
Yeah.
we're gonna do something like this in Westboro for sure. I was like, this isn't too bad.
That was another one too where I was like, damn, you would catch me at a stabathon if those things existed.
Yeah.
Like I would
Yeah.
definitely be at something like that. I'm
Right,
like, fuck.
right.
Yeah, I'd be
Oh,
I'd
man.
be ripe for a picking right there, But,
That to me is like the perfect setting for a kill, and I'm like, they could have gotten away with that, but
they could have, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think too, to kind of piggyback with Scream 4, the Olivia kill where he guts her in the bedroom while
Oh.
Jill and Kirby are watching from the movie and they see her
Yeah.
from the window. I thought that was a really gruesome kill because I think that was the first time someone had actually been like gutted since Drew Barrymore, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that one. So obviously, I think we could talk all day about the kills of this franchise.
Jerry
Even though,
O'Connell-
there are-
real quick,
yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead,
Jerry O'Connell in 2 at the very end.
dude.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted
to.
to talk about that scene in the killer rankings because that whole sequence was
Yes.
just fantastic. Okay, so yeah, we'll move on. Let's get into rankings here. So we're gonna start with the opening scenes. Phil, do you have your own ranking for all of these, or
Oh yeah, I did mine today.
you did? Okay, okay.
Good.
So I'll start off. We'll essentially kind of rotate of who goes first, second, third, each time.
Okay.
For this one, I wanted to just go 6 for all of us, and then 5 for all of us, then 4. Like just kind of go one by
Oh,
one.
yeah.
You guys are cool
That
with
works. Yeah.
So I'm going to start off in last for me. And again, just like the movies, I do enjoy something from all of these. It's more of kind of least best to best. But to me, I think easily the one in last is Scream 4's opening. I think the meta-ness of it, the kind of the movie within the movie was a little redundant. It was kind of cool on the first time. By the time you get to the third, which is like the actual kill, it was overdone. And then I think once you get the actual kill, there was nothing really there that was, memorable or anything that really added to the openings. So for me, Scream 4, I think that's easily the least best, I guess we can call it. So what about you, Phil? Where are you at?
My least favorite opening kill scene is 3.
Scream 3? Okay.
Looking comparatively at the other ones, right? Like, I don't disagree with anything you said, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. But looking at how the other openings happen, Drew Barrymore's is superb, right? The opening of 2 with Jada Pinkett is memorable, right?
Yeah.
Like, and Samara Weaving's in 6 is fabulous, fabulous, right?
Yeah.
That one's a little higher for me. So yeah.
And then you get to 5, and Jenna Ortega does a fine enough job.
Yeah.
But 3, dude, I gotta be honest, like killing Cotton, his girlfriend, I was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm kind of where I'm at with that. I was like, all right.
Fair. All right. What about you, Ian?
I'm in an exact same boat, especially with rewatching them. Yeah, Connors was pretty weak in my opinion. I just didn't have it's also like, at least with all of these openings, like Phil said, there's always something memorable about them, and I actually maybe feel like a little uneasy, but that one just didn't do it for me, unfortunately. The opening in 3.
Fair.
There's much better ones on top for me. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so for 5, I'm going to have you start off, Phil, and then we'll go from Phil to Ian to me.
okay.
My 5 is very easy because it's your number 6. It's Scream 4.
Scream. Okay.
For everything you said, because it's by the time you get to the third portion of the oh look, we're doing the meta thing. It's like, can we start the fucking movie now, please?
Yeah.
Like, come on, what are we doing here? This is ridiculous.
I agree.
Yeah.
Scream 4 all day.
Okay.
Damn. You know what's
Ian?
ridiculous? I also have 4 at 5. But that's, that makes sense. I also think the meta-ness is I think when I first watched it, I thought it was pretty cool. But, again, on rewatches, you're just it's kind of played
What are
out
we
a
doing
little
here?
bit.
Right.
Yeah. I could do without it. But, I definitely prefer it over 3. But, yeah, that's my number 5 is Scream 4's. Yeah.
Okay. So mine is going to be Scream 5. I think
Okay.
that's my number
Okay.
5.
Okay.
The reason for it is there's a couple different reasons. I think I'll talk about what I liked about it. I think I love hearing Roger L. Jackson talk like a normal person. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastic. I loved how they used security, the home security system, to kind of add to the tension of the buildup that they had clearly hacked into that. I loved the brutality of Ghostface in that opening. I thought he was very brutal. It was just very similar to the first one for me. And when you do a rehash of such an iconic scene and you add little things, right? But overall, I don't think it really compares to the first one. It's always going to hold it back a little bit for me. And also, and I'm going to knock it down for this, and I know she was in the 2 movies, and they did that intentionally. I hate the fact that she lived through it. I hate the fact that we got an opening scene where no one died. That, to me, I don't know. That I just feel like, for me, an opening kill is like ceremony with Scream. And the fact that we didn't get it, and I know why we got it, because they explained, like Richie and Amber explained essentially that they did it to lure Sam out and to come to Woodsboro, but that always holds it back just a little bit for me. So that's my number 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep. Okay, so then Ian, I will have you go with your number 4.
Okay. Yeah, my number 4 is Scream 5. I do like the brutalness of Ghostface in that one. And Jenna Ortega does put on a great performance. I think it had all the elements there, but I actually do agree with you too. It's just kind of like it works for the plot, but I also expect it to be an actual kill. So whenever it's not an actual kill, I'm kind of like, okay. I mean, but it does draw me in though. That's the thing, is that even though it is kind of similar to the first one, I do like all the new elements they add in with the security system, the kind of the conversation about the modern like elevated horror kind of thing whenever she
Yeah.
was talking to him on the phone. It was all kind of new and it was in a good way, but again, there's better ones on top of the list, so that's why it's at number 4 for me. So
Sure. Okay, and then I'll go next. For me, my number 4 is Scream 3.
Mhm.
So we pretty much have the bottom 3 all the same. It's just a little bit of a different order.
Mhm.
So Scream, and pretty much everything that you guys said, I kind of agree. I would say I think the reason that maybe I rank it a little bit higher than you guys is because it introduced obviously the AI, or not even AI. I guess we wouldn't call it that, but like the voice changer that Roman
Mhm.
had.
Right.
I like the kind of back and forth scene where he's pretending to be the woman.
Mhm.
Clearly that he's ready to cheat on his girlfriend that he's so worried about saving here in a moment. Look, I'm gonna also give it some props. Like I said, that "What If" Creed song was so monumental for me and such a core memory. When you're playing it during the kill scene, that's fine. I think it does lack, and this is kind of something that we're going to talk about with Scream 3 as a whole. I think the kills are very weak in that movie, and I think that intro is absolutely no different. But I also feel like Cotton didn't deserve to die, man. He went through a lot. He got framed for the murder of Maureen. He barely survived Scream 2. He becomes the hero, and then once he gets everything that he wants, Roman takes him out. So, I always felt bad for him. But
Yeah.
so that's my number 4 is Scream 3.
Okay.
Where are you at, Phil? What's your number 4?
It is the same as Ian's. It's Scream 2022, Scream 5.
Okay.
Yeah, and it largely for the same for a lot of the same reason. I mean, it's it's a retread of the original movie in a lot of ways, but it's also kind of a modern recontextualization because of the home security of it all and the fact that they subverted expectations with it not really being a kill, and you have that character being a main character through this film and the next film. So it's I can appreciate doing different things with it, right? But at the same time, that's also kind of the hindrance of it too. It's like a double-edged sword in that regard. It's good. It's not great.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, we both. I'm keeping record because I maybe want to revisit this in the future. Depending on what happens with Scream 7.
Okay.
But yeah, we all pretty much had the same bottom 3. You guys were exactly the same. I was just a little bit out of order. So we're pretty much all in the same opinion there. Okay, so I will go first on this one. So my number 3 is going to be one that we kind of already talked about, Scream 6. I feel like the Scream 6 opening is fantastic. I thought they were going to go and the movie as a whole, the route was going to change when you get the whole scene with Samara Weaving, where she gets killed in the alleyway and then takes off the mask and it's fucking Flash from the Spider-Man movies. I thought like, oh shit, are we going to get a movie here where who Ghostface is from the jump? I thought that would have been really interesting. I think the reason that it's number 3 is because it loses a little bit of steam when they get whacked. I liked how brutal Ghostface was in that scene. He basically guts the guy at the fridge, and then, or at first he opens up the fridge, and the other douchebag killer is, all carved up. His head's cut off, and he's all chopped up in the fridge. So I enjoyed that opening. I just think it couldn't crack my top 2 because I think it does lose a little bit of steam when you get into the actual portion of them getting killed in the apartment. So yeah, I'm sorry, who went last time? Was it Phil?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you'll go next, Phil.
Mine is also Scream 6.
Okay.
Largely for the same reasons. I mean, it's the Samara Weaving death is pretty awesome, and that is how you really do a nice homage to 1. I think a lot of people even going into 6, kind of already knew that Samara Weaving was probably going to be the Drew Barrymore kill, but that's what made it fun and made it okay even still, because of the fact that it happened in such a complete different kind of context in the way that Drew Barrymore was killed in the first movie. And it kind of sets the stage for what you should expect for Scream 6, because it's not in Woodsboro, and it's following these different kids who experience what they did in Woodsboro. Right? It's a whole different ballgame, and it's meant to be a different ballgame for a different reason. So it's cool, and I enjoyed it, but it's at 3 for a reason.
So,
What about you, Ian?
yeah, mine's 6 as well.
Okay.
But yeah, but it's like, there's 2 others that I put above it. But yeah, 6, I like it for both it being brutal. I do like Samara Weaving's opening kill. But again, like, it's cool that they subverted our expectations there with having him already reveal and thinking like, oh, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
But I also like the brutalness of them being killed by the actual Ghostface.
Right.
It's also kind of interesting too for the motive behind what he was doing and killing. I was like, okay, is this some, stab fanboy that's like, trying to follow in Richie's steps? And in a way, he really did just kind of admit, she gave me a C-, dude. She needed to die. I'm like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
One detail too that I love, it's always a little comedic for me, is that when she's in the bar waiting for him, you see his picture and it's like some like tall, like jacked up guy, and I'm like, knowing that it's fucking Flash Thompson from the Spider-Man movies, I'm like, Jesus, that's always hilarious to me.
And they kind of utilize the environment pretty well too with the alley and everything. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. It was really interesting the way they would want to, get her in there and basically, get her into the kill and everything. So that was pretty neat as well.
Yeah. I thought it did a good job at like establishing that, like, oh no, we're in New York. Like, this is not going to be what you normally get with, Woodsboro and these smaller towns.
Yeah,
like,
this ain't Jason Takes Manhattan, guys. This is
no, this is the better version of it. So that's for sure. That is for sure. Yeah. Okay. So I will have Phil. You'll kick off what your number 2 is, and I have a feeling we're probably all going to have the same 2.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So yeah, Phil, I'll have you kick off. What's your number 2?
Scream 2.
Yep. All right. Do you have that as well, Ian?
I do.
Okay. All right.
And
so
you do
we're all in unison. Our 2 and 1 are the same.
But I guess we could talk about how much we love it. So.
Yeah. So I'll let you.
I'm almost tempted to flip it.
Yeah, it's tempting.
I'm really almost tempted to flip it. Because
that was the closest one for me. That was the one I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Because like I like the way the Drew Barrymore one happens, but I also really like the way Jada Pinkett dies in 2. Like that is just too, because that's so just like awful. Imagine like going to a movie on a date, but then you end up getting murked.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude.
Doing something you love and you just get fucking murdered. That's so horrible.
And she didn't even want to go. She wanted to go to that Sandra Bullock movie at the time.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Like, we could go do Sandra Bullock down the road. Yep.
And I have a really dumb observation from it, but it was funny when she got her popcorn and she asked for a medium Pepsi, and I'm like, damn, that's a big medium Pepsi.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's a big medium Pepsi. But yeah, I mean the restroom, having the boyfriend go to the restroom and just be like waiting for those 2 guys getting out of the urinal, so they were taking forever. And then just having him talking about the dialogue was weird. To get him to lure him closer to the door because he kept saying like mommy or something.
Yeah, it was like mommy. It was like in the weirdest moan I've ever heard. Yeah.
Oh man, but no, it was great. But like Phil said, it's freaking brutal to have your day end with you dying on like in front of all these people that don't even know what's going on. They think it's part of the performance. The stab of vision's pretty good, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's insane, but it is crazy. And also we have to admit, like I said earlier, that's just too much, bro. That's like an unbearable movie theater experience to have all those people just throwing the popcorn and like running around with the knives.
Yeah, running.
Would you rather watch Stab with that audience or Minecraft?
I'd rather watch the stab people. Yeah,
okay.
You're right. You're right.
At least I'm in my element in the stab.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I'm with a fucking bunch of 10-year-olds in Minecraft. Like, I'm good.
We all love stab here, so it
exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, see, the jerk in me would rally a bunch of 10-year-olds together in a movie theater, let them know, like, hey, you guys want to watch Minecraft? Okay, and then dupe them and put on Scream 6.
Scream,
Ooh,
yeah.
yeah.
That'd be funny. Yeah, just
Destroy their fragile
yeah.
little minds, have a bunch of
Yeah.
angry parents knocking at my door. It's no big deal.
hilarious. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so since we're in agreement, obviously our number one is the original. Then
Mhm.
we're in agreement on the first two. Let me ask, because I always have a fun time going back and rewatching the films and trying to figure out. And I know Wes Craven has said he never really ever like paid mind to it or tried to put the details there.
Mhm.
What do you think it was only Mickey that was there and did that opening kill?
And two?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume. I mean, what are you getting at? Like, was there a
Like I always try to go back when I watch the movies and like try to figure out like, oh, who is this performing
Who
the kill?
killed who?
Is it Mr. Loomis or is it
Oh.
Mickey? And like I always assumed it was
okay.
Mickey only. Like I don't really get any inclination that there was two killers at that because he kills the boyfriend, takes the
Yeah.
cat, goes back. So I'm like I always assumed it's one, and I just assumed it was Mickey. I'm in the boat that I kind of assume that Mickey has most of the kills of Scream 2, but
Mhm.
like I said, I know
I
Wes
remember
Craven-
looking it up a long time ago, which one had which kill, like, and they tell you too. But
Oh, do they?
yeah, matter of
Okay.
fact, I'll look it up right
Because
now.
I thought I mean I could be wrong, but I thought I heard like there were interviews, before Wes passed, where like people would ask him that, like, do you, think about
Yeah.
like who's the one actually killing in certain scenes, and he was like, no, not really. But I could be wrong.
It would be funny to think Mrs. Loomis did all the first that opening
Yeah,
kill.
right,
To be
yeah.
honest,
Yeah, like
That
she
was-
snuck into the men's bathroom and just like sat in the.
So
Sat in
according
the
to
stall.
this,
what does
okay,
it say?
so according to the good old Google AI, killers and victims: Mickey Altieri killed Phil Stevens, Maureen Evans, C.C. Cooper, Officer Andrews, Officer Richards, Haley McDaniel, and Derek Feldman. Nancy Loomis killed Randy Meeks. Final kills: Nancy Loomis is shot by Cotton Weary, then shot in the head by Sidney Prescott. Mickey is shot to death by Gail
Yeah.
Weathers.
I've
Oh,
I've
yeah.
heard a lot of people say that she only killed Randy, and that's a little upsetting.
So
Well-
Mickey kills both in the opening scene, Phil Stevens and Maureen Evans.
See, I don't know if I really buy that though, because then with Cece, right?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Mrs. Loomis shows up like right after she's killed. So I'm like, and Mickey was at the party with all them. So I'm like, I don't know. That's why I say I'm like, I don't know if he necessarily like made the movie with like anyone in mind specifically.
No, that was Stu. He just came in for a quick kill and left.
Oh yeah, right.
He was like, he's like, let me just come in for this quick kill and then
yeah.
and they're like, who did that? It doesn't matter. It works.
Yeah.
No, but
But,
you're
yeah.
right. Because she specifically mentions like, oh, Randy when he was talking about my
Yeah.
boy, and I'm like, oh, okay, so she did that. But yeah, I figured Mickey did do most of them,
Most of
just
them,
because of the stature. I know that I know the ghost faces are never necessarily the actual actors because obviously we saw that with Amber and Scream
Yeah.
5. But I just assumed at the time I was like, yeah, I'm pretty insinuating that she made him basically do all those, But I don't know.
And then we haven't really talked about it, but obviously like the original opening.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's really not a whole lot that we can say and offer like insight wise that hasn't already been repeated a million times over. Yeah, go ahead, Ian.
I was gonna say we could bring up funny things. I realized that when I was rewatching it, that I was like, "Damn!" She said she had no boyfriend. She was really gonna risk it all for the guy on the phone.
Yeah, first, yeah.
She was like, "Damn, this guy's voice is pretty nice. I might need to like treat on my boyfriend real quick."
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny because before, I guess I maybe paid attention to the dialogue there for that bit, but then I'm like, wait a second, what?
Yeah.
He's like, he's a big football player. He'll kick your ass.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
then too, that's another one too that I always kind of like think. I'm like, I think it was both Billy and Stu at that one because I think Billy was on the phone, and I think Billy also rolled up in the costume as well. But I think Stu kind of did more of like the setting up
They
the
both had to.
boyfriend in the back. Yeah, that was definitely a double kill. I think there are kills you can look at in the franchise where you're like, that had to have been the two of them together.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Like just logically, it doesn't make sense how he got there and then was in the front somehow all of a sudden. Like it just doesn't work. But yeah, that one, and I always like to think that Stu was the one that killed her was stabbing her on the porch. She takes the mask off, right, and like doesn't really look necessarily shocked. And they dated, and they like kind of added that in that him and Casey dated. So I always assumed that was Stu in that moment. Plus, it was the it seemed like because I know they had to do different masks and stuff, but I always kind of assume when you get the goofier looking mask, it's Stu, just to, like, kind of match his personality. But that's just kind of like my headcanon on it.
But like you said, it is still pretty brutal, and I also feel like it really got me whenever I was rewatching it again, and then seeing the parents come home, and she's just so desperately trying to get their attention, and it's just. It sucks, and it also, by the way, has a good grip on the phone the whole time. Even being dragged, I was like, damn, it's really brutal, but it's so good. It's such a great kill, such a great opening.
It's one of the most like iconic opening scenes, I think, to any movie ever. And that's the one where I'm like, man, I wish I would have been born like 10 years earlier to experience that for the first time. Because like people who like, I have older family members who are big fans of the franchise, and they always talk about how like everyone thought Drew Barrymore was like the main character in the movie. And then you just get that opening scene and everyone's like, oh shit, what are we in for with this? So yeah, that's one I would have loved to have been there, like opening night, or I mean, I know it probably didn't have the buzz like that because it was an original film and everything, but I would have loved to have seen it.
You didn't get the stab experience like he got into. That's too bad. But what was that? There was a movie at the time, I'm trying to remember the name of it, and it had a it was like the Scream, and it was like it was like about the school staff coming across like an alien organism. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm forgetting the name of the movie. But
was it The Faculty?
The Faculty, because
it was written by Kevin Williamson too.
Exactly. People always bring up that like if it was that or Scream, like Scream ended up with the franchise. But Faculty could have very well too.
Oh yeah,
The Faculty was really good.
Yeah, I think that one was kind of overshadowed by Scream at the time, and that's why it didn't take off.
But no, I mean, obviously, I'm not complaining, but it is an interesting thought to think,
To do it, Okay, all right, so let's move on. We're gonna do Killers next. This one, I think, for me at least, was very hard to do. I don't know about you guys. I think there are a lot of great ghost faces, and there's a group of them that I am not very high on. So I think both like my top, maybe top 4 or 5, and my bottom 4 or 5 were a little hard to do. Mine
was easy.
Yours was easy? Okay.
Easy.
Since there's 12, so obviously I did 12, right, on the ones I sent you guys.
Yeah.
I didn't do with the TV show because we haven't even talked about the TV show, and I hate the TV show, so we're not even act like that exists. And then I also didn't include the 2 dipshits at the beginning of Scream 6 either because they just weren't long enough. So I figured, I don't know, we could maybe do this like 3 at a time or 6 at a time. I don't know what you guys would think.
Well, I'll make it easy because my bottom 3 are from 6. It's the Bailey family.
Okay.
Okay, good. That's exactly what I have too.
Okay. So you guys are bottom 3 is all 3 killers from 6.
Oh,
do you have them in any order or
no?
They're all just equal 3 shit. Okay.
Well, whoever Dermot
Mulroney. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, him. He was probably the best one of all 3 of them.
Yeah, I think so. And it's kind of.
I'll say that the daughter being like the friend on the inside. That was kind of Stu Mockery vibes, so they had something going with her. But they were fine,
Yeah, I mean, so is yours different from ours?
It's not very different. I threw one like B killer from another movie in my bottom. So since you guys are the 3, I'll kind of just go over my bottom 3. So last, Ethan.
I had Ethan
6.
Yeah.
I thought he offered absolutely nothing. The moment that the mask comes off, I'm like, I'll be honest with you guys. Because Jack Chapman is also in the Avatar movies, I just don't think he's a very good actor. And it's no disrespect to the kid, but like his performance in that movie too, I think it's one of the worst part of those last 2 Avatar films. So I think when he takes off the mask, he adds nothing.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. Ethan too is 12, and yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, once the mask is off, even more so. Like
Yeah.
none of his dialogue is good. I hate everything he ever says. It's all bad.
And he's like
in my-
weirdly simping for Jenna Ortega. And
Yeah, he's
talking
like,
about how
oh,
he's, like,
I wish I had
I'm
a,
like,
what,
he was like,
it's-
oh, I'm gonna die a virgin or something. I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
what's wrong with this kid?
so weird. But yeah,
Like at least Richie, like, yeah, he might have been dating a minor, but at least he was getting some on the side. Like, Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Yeah. So my 11 though is kind of where I take a little bit of a break from the Scream 6 killers. My 11 is Charlie Walker.
Yeah.
Scream 4.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I think I enjoy Charlie Walker more as a character when he is not revealed as Ghostface. I like his back and forth with Kirby. But I think the way that they reveal him, I do like the scene, you know, where he reveals himself when in the chair and he stabs Kirby. And at the time we thought she was dead. I
Yeah.
thought she wasn't. I love Kirby very much. And then when you get into the house, for one, the dude's like 5'2". That was another one. Scream 4, I think, is the worst offender of the stunt guy versus the actual killers, because both killers in that movie are like 5'2". So it's really bad. And I just don't think he, like, once the mask is revealed and you understand Jill's plan, he is literally a simp who just gets killed within like 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
to me, I think he's bad. And then I had the other two Scream 6 killers. So that's my bottom four essentially. I had the other two
That's
Scream,
funny
and
because
then
Charlie Walker was my number 4. He's right above
you're
mine.
4. Okay. What about you, Ian? Is it the same for you?
Actually, it is.
Yeah, okay,
I was looking at that because yeah, Charlie. But yeah, I had Ethan at 12, Quinn at 11, Wayne, and then Charlie.
And
yeah,
then Charlie. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was the same. I put Quinn and then Wayne. I will say, and I think it's the biggest positive of the 5 and 6, the Radio Silence movies. I love their ghost faces in mask and in costume.
yeah.
Before they're revealed. I think they do such a good job at the brutality. I know everyone was hating on it, but I love the bodega scene when he rolls in and steals the shotgun from the owner, kills the owner.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, "Oh, he can't have a shotgun." I'm like, every killer in the franchise grabs a gun the moment the mask comes off.
Exactly.
What does it matter if he has one when the mask is on?
Right.
You know, that was a whole stupid conversation.
That sounds like people that just don't watch the movies.
Yeah, I'm like, are you guys forgetting? I mean, I get it. It was the first time in Mask they had a gun, but who gives a shit?
Whatever, dude.
So I think that's in both Radio Silence movies. I think in The Mask they have great killers, but God, I met Dermot Mulroney a couple months ago at a horror convention. He did like a panel with Roger L. Jackson. That was a really great experience.
Ooh.
You know, one time it was crazy to hear Roger L. Jackson in person, because I'm like, damn, like you're an actual person. I don't even really think about him sometimes like that when I heard him talk. But he was really nice. Like, he really loves the fan base. I think he was really proud to be in that movie and be a killer and be part of it. But man, when he removes the mask, especially him, I think he's the worst of the three. Once he reveals the mask, but I think he was better in costume than the other two were. So that's why I rank him above.
Yeah, I agree with you. Man, I also love the variations of the masks in 6. You know, you actually get to see all the ones, and the raggedy first one. It's all good. I like that.
I agree. Okay, so we got our bottom 4. Why don't we do we'll do next 2 between everyone.
Okay.
We'll do 8 and 7. I'll have you go first, Ian, since Phil went first.
Okay. Yeah, my 8 is Amber. It's the same thing with like being a B ghost face. She just unfortunately didn't like her reveal was like a little bit surprising, but at the same time I was kind of like figuring she'd probably be in it somehow, but I guess I never knew the motive behind it. But it was kind of just like, oh, I was just, you know, along with Richie, you know, me and him talked about the stab movies and how we want to make our own. And I don't know. I just didn't feel like her motive was her. I mean, I guess it was her own, but it just didn't feel that way to me.
Stu again, over again.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't really have a motive, but it was just, she was radicalized by the movie sites. That's what she said. Yeah.
And it's so funny to have, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her, the actress, but she had that.
Mikey Madison.
Yeah, having that death in that one, and then in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, she can't catch a break, bro.
Yeah,
Fire,
set on fire every time.
always on fire.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah, Amber. So, what about your number 7?
uh I actually have which this is like you said from our what was it like these are all like I think from here on I like all these killers.
Okay.
But my number 7 is Mickey. I don't necessarily hate him. Like I don't hate him. Like it's just because
Wow.
everyone above him I like a little bit more, and it's because either there was like there's just some things I like about it. But yeah, don't worry though, because I do love Mickey's reveal, and as
Yeah.
well as like him being one of the better, obviously B in a way like B killers, I guess, or the B's Ghostface. But I don't know. I mean, again, like it's hard to pick, at least for me, because of going above it. I kind of like most of them above him, but I do like his motive though, to be honest, because at the time it was kind of funny to hear like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get this whole court trial, and I'm gonna be the guy that did it because of the movies, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I like that motive, but
That was a big play on OJ because I think
yeah,
it was right around the time that the OJ trials were going on. Yeah.
I know, and he would have said the glove doesn't fit. That would have been crazy.
Yeah. Right.
The mask doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Mask
No,
doesn't
okay.
fit, you must have quit. Yeah.
So that's number 7 for me. So
Okay. And what about you, Phil? Your number 8 and number 7.
My number 8 is Jill Roberts,
okay.
and it's largely just because, like,
You guys are surprising me right now. Holy shit!
cousin angry at other cousin for surviving a mass murder turns crazy. I'm like, okay, you're young. There's a lot of red flags and questions you could ask. Not to say that Emma Robertson do a good job, but comparatively, when it comes to the other killers and their motives, I'm like, kind of weak. I am up.
Okay.
And then my number 7 is Amber Freeman. Because again, same deal. She's very much, radicalized or whatever. She's more or less a Stu Macher. And it's fine, but it's comparatively, again, like there are just other better killers above her.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Definitely shocked by Jill being that low, but like I said, I think it's a testament to this franchise on how strong it is when you get to these rankings. Okay, so my number 8 is Richie, and my number 7 is Amber. So I have both.
Okay.
5 killers. I'll be honest, on my list, outside of Scream 4, a lot of my killers are like each movie relatively close to one another.
Okay.
Just because I think they're tied together, right? So I think you have to do it. I prefer Amber a little bit better, only because I think Richie was so obvious, and I don't think the marketing did a great job at hiding the fact that he was the killer. And again, he's a rehashed play on the boyfriend. He's a Billy that isn't as charismatic as Billy. And I hate the motive. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The things I despise most about Radio Silence and their movies is the motives of the killer. I think in both films they really dropped the ball on them both, and I think Amber is just a little bit more charismatic once she gets revealed. I love the reveal scene where she shoots the girl Liv in the head directly. Yeah. The reveal. It's like, oh, welcome to Act 3, and then she's got Cindy in the kitchen and does that. I love that part. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I think they're pretty much neck and neck. I mean, if you asked me on another given day, I might like Richie just a tad bit more than Amber, but not a big fan of the Scream 5 and 6 killers. Truthfully.
Okay.
They make up pretty much most of my bottom 6, so
okay,
that's where I'm with that. Okay, so I had Ian. Phil, I'll have you go first this time. Let's try to speed it up. Let's do 6, 5, and 4.
Okay.
Okay. Well, my number 6 is Richie Kirsch. For despite the fact that play on the Billy Loomis, if it wasn't Jack Quaid, if it was anyone else other than Jack Quaid, it would probably go down just a smidge. The fact that it's Jack Quaid bumps it up for me a little bit more. And it's because like I just think that kid has a lot of range as an actor too, and I think what he did with Richie Kirsch was leagues and bounds more interesting than any of the other below him. But let's get to my number 5, because I'm sure this might make you guys kind of give me an eye, and that would be Mickey Altieri.
Oh, okay.
And it's largely because he's just, he's cool, and it's not Duhamel, it's Oliphant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's Oliphant. Oliphant. Yeah,
Yep,
Oliphant.
yep.
I love Oliphant.
A very young Timothy Oliphant.
Very young Timothy Oliphant. That was one of the first things I remember watching him in.
Yep.
And he's just, he's hired muscle, and it's fine. But
he is. Yeah,
he gets a lot of the fucking cool kills.
He does.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's a lot of the cool kills. And then above him, I have Roman Bridger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Roman, to me, again, I am in the camp of, I think Scream 3 is a little underrated. And I think Roman Bridger has arguably some of the most ample motivation, because he's like, yo, your mom is my mom, and she totally dropped me to fucking live life with you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay. I'll go second. Let's see. Yeah,
654.
I'm sorry. 654. Sorry, I had a brain fart there for a second. My number 6 is Nancy Loomis, Mrs. Loomis.
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't really have a lot of negatives to say about her. The main reason I think I don't put her in my top 5 is only because, and it's kind of a positive, but kind of not. When she's first revealed, it's like, who the fuck is this? Like the reporter lady? That's what we're talking. And then it's, slowly in the dialogue with her and Sydney that it's Mrs. Loomis. Obviously a very great nod to Mrs. Voorhees. So I felt like that's what the whole point of it was. And it was very simple motive. And I think her performance, the crazy eyes that she gets in that final act, I really like that. But I do take like the whole entire movie in costume versus when you're revealed as a whole. Obviously, she only had one confirmed kill in the movie, so I think she didn't really do a lot of the work. Obviously, she was the mastermind. There's no doubt about that. Like you said, Mickey basically was the hired gun. But I think, I don't know. I feel, and obviously based on my rankings, I haven't talked about them yet, I think she was the weaker of the two killers of Scream 2. And I know that's a bit of a hot take, but that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Number 5, Roman Bridger. Pretty much for the exact same reasons that you said, Phil. I'll take it even a step further. I think I have a lot of problems with Scream 3, and we'll talk about that here soon with our movie rankings. I think that final act with the showdown between Roman and Sydney is one of the best final acts in the franchise, for as much as it gets, shit on.
Mm-hmm.
I think the idea of the motive is a little bit, I don't know. It felt a little cheesy, right? Like a long lost brother, that was the mastermind behind it all, right? And like he was the one that put Stu. Like that's the part of it that I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of it. But I think Scott Foley's performance was really good. I think he's hindered by the script, truthfully, and the kills in the movie. I think he would be much higher if he was in a movie where they were really allowed to go for it with the kills. Like we know the history. We know that they had to really, like each kill in the movie is just like a teeny little stab and the person dies, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would have put him higher if he would have been able to be a little bit of a more creative killer. I'll give him his props though. The only solo Ghostface, he has to get respect for that.
Yeah.
Even though if you know about the scripts, Angelina was supposed to be the other Ghostface, but didn't officially happen in the movie.
Right.
So I'll give him credit for that. And then so my number 4 is Mickey Altieri. Look, I know, like I said, I know it's probably controversial to say I like Mickey more than Mrs. Loomis in Scream 2, but I think he is, even though he's the hired muscle, he does a lot of the kills. Like you said, I think he has a lot of great kills in the movie. And to me, the sequence, once he reveals himself and then plays the mind games with Sydney about Derek, is an all-time great Scream scene for me. Like when I talk about that trilogy run that I did the first time I ever watched it, that was like he had me believing that Derek was the other accomplice in that moment. He was so good in that moment, and that's all the credit to Timothy Oliphant. And then also I really like the motive. Like I said, it was really a play on the OJ trial and the media craze that was going on at that time about that murder trial. He wanted to replicate that. So it worked for me. Obviously, like I said, I know you guys have it a little lower than I did. I mean, I'm closer with Phil, I think, than I was Ian. Ian had it a lot lower, but yeah, I really like Mickey Altieri. I think behind Stu, he is the second best B Ghostface. So,
Okay.
all right, Ian, you're 6, 5, and 4.
Okay. Yeah. So 6, I have Richie. Yeah. I don't mind the motive as much. It's just the fact that I guess in 6 they kind of hit you over the head a little bit with it. I feel like
yeah, that's fair.
But with 5, I think it was fine to do it that first time because I kind of knew their commentary they were doing about like the toxic fan bases and that kind of like sort of like maybe that toxicity, at least in the movie, boils into this or whatever. But I didn't mind it, and especially with Jack Quaid's performance too. Like obviously he played that role really well, and I actually don't remember seeing too many like scenes that kind of gave it away for me. So when it did happen, I actually was kind of surprised about him being the killer. So I was like, yeah, he's pretty good. My number 5 is Roman. Yeah, dude. I think when I first watched 3, it was kind of the thing where I was like both kind of in between liking him and maybe being like, like you said, it was a little cheesy. I don't care, dude. It's so fun. Roman's reasoning, I agree with Phil, is just like, our mom sucks, dude. She took you instead of me. Come on. And I just it's fun. It's crazy to think though, but like that also cemented that Sydney's mom just gets dragged more and more.
Oh,
being
she's like the worst mom to ever.
Yeah, she's the worst.
Like, Jesus. Yeah.
But and you know what's funny though is that with this franchise, I think his also like sort of like plan, like how you said they put Stu there and stuff. It works better here because of its like sort of like the way the tone is. I don't know if y'all watch the 007 movies, but in Spectre, they had that like reveal about like one of the guy, like this one guy being behind everything. But that was a detriment to me because the other 3 movies, like Casino Royale and Skyfall, I liked like having those characters being just their own motives and stuff. But to find out some guys like, I was there the whole time, I put these guys where you needed them. But with Roman, it works for me. I like Roman a lot. And also he has the voice changer that's never come back because he's that cool. And
maybe it hasn't come back. It might come back in a couple weeks.
Maybe. Also in 6, when I was rewatching it, I did like Kirby's thing being like, you have to commend him. He's the only Ghostface. Didn't need anyone else. Okay. And then number 4 is Mrs. Loomis. I liked her reveal. I also didn't mind her motivation. She is the better version of what they try to do in 6, with the family. I know it was made before, obviously, but it's just showing how good that was when it was revealed to me. I didn't mind her motive. She was a mom that was gone. So maybe in a way, I also contextualized it as maybe she also felt guilty for her leaving that maybe caused him to also become who he became. And maybe instead of like putting that on herself, she's like, it was Sydney. She's the reason. You know what I mean? So I think that works for me, at least in my head, for that kind of reasoning I give it. So yeah, Mrs. Loomis number 4. So we get to 3, 2, and 1 now.
Okay. All right. I'll kick off on 3, 2, and 1. 3 is for me going to be Jill Roberts. I know you guys had her lower.
No, I didn't say Jill yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you didn't. Okay, so maybe you actually have it. You might have it higher than me for all I know. Jill is like I said, I obviously have a little bit of a nostalgia vibe for Scream 4. It was the first one I got to experience at an age where I could go see it and be part of the hype leading up to the movie. And going into that film, the theories essentially were that she was going to be the new Sydney. That was what a lot of people thought going into that movie. And to be honest, throughout the movie up until the reveal, I think they did a very great job at hiding the fact that she was Ghostface. When she pulled off the mask and it was her, I was literally like, what the fuck? Like, I did not see that coming whatsoever. And then I also think that her motive, it was perfect for that time. that was obviously the very early days. Well, maybe not super early days of the internet, but when like Twitter was becoming a thing and social
Yep.
media and social media fame was becoming a thing. I know you talked about kind of like the cousin angle. I don't think her motive was really more towards like, yeah, she was jealous of Sydney and the attention she got, but I think she just was so attention starved for social media and fame that she was willing to do, what basically no one else was willing to do.
Right.
So I really thought that the commentary for her motive was really well done. And then I think she's the smartest Ghostface out of anyone. She almost damn near got away with it. I mean, she was basically, if she didn't slip up with Dewey, she was going to get away with it and reveal the fact that she was the one that stabbed Gale. If she hadn't revealed that, she was going to get away with it. And obviously we know about the scripts and what that movie was supposed to be. She was supposed to get away with it, and there was supposed to be a whole trilogy. But and that scene where she stabs Sydney and everyone's incapacitated, and she like beats the shit out of herself in the living room. Oh, I just every time I rewatch that movie, I'm like, she's crazy. She's fucking nuts, man. I'm like, this girl's nuts. So Jill is my number 3. Number 2, Stu Macher, the greatest bee killer in any of the movies. I think charismatic, like performance-wise, he's the most charismatic Ghostface there is. He is so much fun once he is revealed as Ghostface. You get some of those iconic moments from him. You hit me with the phone, Dick. My dad, like all of it. It's just
I feel queasy, dude.
Yeah. I'm dying here, man. Like it's so good. And then even before he's revealed, he's just such an energetic and fun character. Like that back and forth with him and Randy in the video store, where Billy comes and interrupts too. After anytime Stu's on the screen, I love that. And then I love the fact that he has no motive. Like he's genuinely like, yeah, there are other like B level Ghostface that kind of don't have a real motive, but they still say there's a reason. Like we really have no idea why Stu did what he did. He said peer pressure. That was like the one line we got from him as to why he did this. And I think it's just because he's a fucking crazy son of a bitch, and that's just all it is. So Stu's my number 2. Number 1 though, it's Billy. He's the one that started it all. We talked about my Scream 7 theory about how Billy outshines him, and it's true. He was the mastermind. I know they kind of, and it's why I don't really like the angle from Scream 3. They kind of retcon that Roman was the one that at least started it, but Billy's the one that carried everything out. He's the OG. He's the one that everything comes from. The most obvious red herring of all time. Like I look back and I'm like, how was anyone stunned that it was Billy? But then when you watch the movie, it's like they do such a good job at saying, hey, yeah, we know that you think it's him right off rip, but we're going to make you not think it's him throughout the entire runtime of the film. And then, Sydney ends up letting him clap at the end, right before he deals with, that just adds more salt to the wound for Sydney.
Yeah.
She let him hit right before he revealed and ruined her life forever, basically, because obviously everything, what he did led to everything that happened in what'll be 6 films now.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and if you add, like, I think my lists of all of these change basically every time I rewatch the series, but I feel like Billy's the one that will always kind of just be there, unless we get something, insane. Unless Stu is alive and has like one of the best performances we've ever seen at 7. I don't see him getting dethroned. So, okay, so we'll go Ian next.
Okay,
we'll have, do your top 3.
3. Actually, my 3 is also Jill. I have Jill up there.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a big fan of 4.
Yeah.
I did like her motive, and like you said, she is both so smart, but oh my god, so fucking crazy, dude. Like, like the scene where she's like throwing herself onto the table to like break it, and like the way she injures herself. And I, like you said, I agree with the motive being more like wanting to be famous. She wants to be that new Sydney victim, kind of like, I'm getting all this attention now. I want to be like the one that's like getting on TV and being like, yeah, I survived this massacre. I'm just that cool kind of thing. But No, I agree. I've always liked Jill a lot. Every time I rewatch it, and she is one of my favorite ghost faces, so I'll put her at number 3 for that. And then number 2 is Stu.
Okay.
Again, like you're right, so charismatic, but golly, he's so eccentric in everything he does. He's so over the top, and like you said, I even before he's revealed as Ghostface, I'm like, he just has the best lines.
You glue to the screen when you see him. You're like, this is just such a fun character to be around.
Yeah, with him and Randy at the video store, but any regular conversation he's having is just like he does like these such weird things too. Is like he likes to pick his girlfriend up, whenever they were just talking on the sidewalk, and then he's like, "I'll be back."
Yeah.
To make fun of Randy.
An underrated one where he's when they're at the fountain, he's like, "Liver alone."
Oh yeah. He's like, "Get it, guys, liver."
Yeah.
But eccentric ghost face, but he still doesn't crack, unfortunately, number 1, which is Billy. Billy, he's always been like, to me, like for the franchise, been that perfect ghost face. Like you said, maybe rewatching it now, you're like, I could see how you didn't maybe notice that he could have been Ghostface, but at the same time, I'm like, even if I knew it, I was like, he's still good, though. I'm like, I love his motive. I like his whole orchestrating of the plan, and like you said, putting all the salt in the wound. It was funny too when they did get done with their session, and then it's only till after they slept together that she's like, this is weird. Are you Ghostface? I don't know why after we had sex, but are you Ghostface? I don't know. It has nothing to do with it, but it's just funny that it happens after that.
It was almost like because she had sex with him, she kind of like felt like, this is weird. Like something off about you. I'm getting weird vibes now, even more so than I did before.
And he has like those good, I like his lines where they're in the kitchen, I like him with the knife and just kind of talking to Sydney, and then he has that weird like tilt to his head and like, he has put on a great performance. So Billy's my number 1, and we could go to Phil for 3, 2, and 1.
Well, my number 3 is Stu Macher.
Okay.
And I he's Stu Macher. What's not to like, right? Like Matthew Lillard, he's an iconic character. He's, you don't get what we have with Scream without Stu Macher. My number 2 is Billy Loomis for everything y'all just said. But honestly, the reason why Nancy Loomis makes my number 1 is because I remember watching that movie for the first time, and that twist of her being Mrs. Loomis, as a young tween, whatever, I just remember being like, whoa, like this is Darth Vader, I'm your father territory here.
Damn,
right? So to me, that's why that will always have some kind of fucked up impact. But also, I really love Laurie Metcalf. And I think she plays a really excellent, like, pissed off, like subtly quiet, I'm gonna kill you, pissed off mom. And I just think the way that she does the twist, from meek mannered shitty reporter to revenge seeking angry mom, I ain't gonna fuck with that. I absolutely ain't gonna fuck with that. And she listen, we're at a very awful, difficult time here in the States. In the States, right? I imagine if any mother lost their child, no matter what the circumstances, you will find yourself dealing with a very lunatic, crazed, vengeful woman. That Nancy Loomis, the reveal is it's the reveal, it's the performance, and it's the fact that it's Laurie Metcalf. And despite the fact she only killed Randy, that's fine.
That is fine, yeah.
But she orchestrated all that shit. And if you didn't know going into the movie, you sure as fuck knew came out of it. Right?
I will say, I think too, the like you kind of touched upon the switch. I actually think the 2 best switches are from female ghost faces. I think it's from Mrs. Loomis and it's from Jill. I think that they have the most, like, harsh switch when they switch. It's like, oh shit, who is this? This is not the person that we saw the entire movie.
Yeah.
So
no,
yeah. No,
That's
I
why it's
definitely-
great.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, I think that's what's so good about this franchise is that we can have different rankings and it's all valid because they're all good.
Mhm.
So okay, we'll get into the final one and we'll go into movies. We'll go back because obviously there's only 6, so we'll just do one at a time. I'll start off with it'll be Ian for this one, and then it'll go to you, and then we'll kind of continue rotating. So, Ian, what is your least favorite Scream film?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I like all the films, so unfortunately, 3 ends up on my number 6. I think it's both with the it's not, the opening, the kills not being as good in the franchise compared to others, but I do like Roman, as a Ghostface and the reveal, but I guess it doesn't save the entire film for me. But I do, like I said, it's just a weaker one for me out of the 6 that we have. So it just kind of ends up there. But otherwise, I think there was a really neat idea to have it be taking place on the movie set and
In
making
Hollywood,
of Stab 3. I thought that was pretty cool. I like that setting and I like the vibe they went for. And I think it works in a lot of ways. But, I don't know if I would say like I enjoyed everything in the movie. So that's why it ends up on number 6. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Phil, what about you? What's your least favorite?
Well, much like Star Wars, I like all these movies in this franchise pretty universally, but there has to be a
Worse.
last spot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
right,
there always has to be a last spot.
I always put it in quotes. I'm like, yeah.
And to me, it's absolutely Scream 4.
Okay.
And
okay, yeah.
between the opening,
Yeah.
the killers, the way it's shot, the way it's paced, just there's a lot that I look at with 4, and I'm like, there was a lot of potential here.
Mhm.
And even to your point, with all the nonsense went on behind the ending and all that shit,
Yeah.
So it's a matter of like what could have been as opposed to what is. But then again, when you talk about what is good. Everything else in this franchise is just probably slightly better, if not better.
That's fair.
Yep.
That's yeah. So mine, my least favorite. Again, I love all these movies. Same as you, Ian. Scream 3. Couple different reasons, right? I think we've talked about it. The kills are very tame in this movie. I think it's very scaled back. Most of the kills are just one stab. The person falls and dies. I think this movie had a problem with tone, very much so. I think it got really goofy in some moments. Other moments, I thought it worked and it was part of the charm. I can't remember the one guy's name, the Tyson, the black guy. Is at the end when he's like running away and like his comedic timing, I thought he was hilarious and I thought that worked, right? But then I also think in certain aspects of the movie, I think it gets too meta, right? And you talked about, I liked that the Hollywood setting, but I feel like it was a little too on the nose, and that's kind of where the meta started to take control of the franchise, where the first 2 weren't really like that. So there's that. I think you can feel the fact that this movie was rewritten to death, and I don't know how many scripts there were for this movies, but I feel like you kind of feel that when you watch it. It feels very uneven in the experience, and I really hate the fact that like Sydney is not really in this movie all that much when you really think about it. Like the entire first half of the movie, she's basically on this ranch in seclusion, and you don't really get a whole lot with her. Now that was because of all of the rewrites and delays that happened. There were scheduling conflicts, that's why she couldn't. And I think once you get Cindy into the story in the back half, it's probably the best that Cindy has ever been, truthfully, as the character.
The movie picks up the minute she gets
the minute she gets on.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is it. But I just can't forget the fact that for the first half of the movie, it struggled with getting its footing and not having the balance, and it didn't feel like normal Scream to me. And obviously, this is the first film of the franchise where it wasn't Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson together. I think you feel that in the writing. So, for all the things I love about it that we've talked about so far in the stream, I just think the negatives make it to where it's my least enjoyable. It's not like I still like it. I don't like dread it when I do a rewatch or anything like that, but It's just the one I get the least enjoyment out of.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with Phil for number 5 and go from there. So, Phil, what is your number 5?
That is Scream 6.
Okay.
And that is largely, no Neve Campbell. You have 3 villains here who lack a very serious motivation, right? It's not Westboro. Compared to the other movies, it's just not. It's not that it's not a Scream movie, but it's the most different one that you look at, and it's like I can throw this on and have a great time, but it's almost not quite as far removed from everything else because its literal plot hinges on everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so like, I understand that there's a need for things to be different, but there's just something that just by this point, this is the movie where you really start to recognize like the familiarity of the thing that I grew up with is starting to change. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a good thing. But again, much like 4 for me, the other 4 films in this franchise just kind of outweigh it in a certain respect. And, this one has clever kills. It's got some lore, some really deep lore if you're really a fan of the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, what really weighs it down, again, no Neve Campbell, weak trio of villains, and a brand new setting that we're not at all familiar with. So
yeah.
Fair. Yeah, fair. All right, Ian, you're number 5.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. 6 is also my number 5. I agree with a lot of Phil's points, especially when I first watched it. I was not a fan at all about the reveal. I don't like those 3 as the killers or their motives. But to be honest, I do like a lot of things in the movie, though. Like, I understand what Phil you were saying about the setting, but I thought it was kind of neat to have it be in New York. I think they kind of utilized it better than like I think
absolutely.
other slasher would have tried to do.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a
far better
outfit,
movie
for sure.
than that one. Yeah.
Far better. Far better.
But yeah, I think the setting was nice. I like the opening kill. That whole opening scene was great.
Oh yeah.
It's just the fact that it's like you can have all this good stuff, but when I get to the end, it kind of is that reveal that kind of breaks it for me a little bit, just because I'm like, that motive is just so weak to me. I don't like those 3. I don't like that they're like, oh, our poor Richie. Oh man, even though we like they kind of reinforced it in him.
He's
and
like,
we're
he
like,
groomed him to become a serial killer, basically.
I know.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, my poor boy. Even though I kind of caused this,
Yeah.
my poor boy.
Yeah.
It's almost like you find out you're dating a member of the Westboro Baptist Church, and then his family comes knocking at your door, going,
Yeah.
"What did you do to our kid?
Yeah.
Oh, you killed him? Guess what? We're part of a crazy cult too."
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's just if it had a different reveal, and if they had better motive, like if the motives were better, I would have probably put this a little higher. But just because of that, it does place it down pretty far for me. So that's why it's at my number 5. So
fair. Yeah, so my number 5 is Scream 5. So
okay.
Now, maybe this is a bit of a spoiler for where I'm at. I kind of rank the radio silent movies pretty neck and neck. I mean, they're both pretty close in my eyes. They both have the same positives. They both have the same flaws in my eyes. The reason I think I would rank 5 lower is only because and it makes sense. It was the first movie after Wes Craven had passed away, so it does feel more like a homage to that original film, right? Especially leading up into the finale.
Right.
I think that this movie does a worse job than 6 does at establishing the new characters. I think, I know a lot of people gave her a lot of shit for it, and I didn't agree to the extent that people went with it, but I do think Melissa Barrera's performance is significantly weaker in Scream 5 than it was in Scream 6. I felt like she was much better in 6. And I really don't like the killer reveals and the motives. And again, like I said, I think that's a problem for both films. I think Radio Silence has both. It has that problem in both films. And they kind of don't fix it. And I think it gets worse in 6. But I'm not a fan of the killers, the motives. And I don't like the fact that they did the stereotypical arc that they do with a lot of these old beaten down heroes that they did with Dewey. I'll just be honest. I not even the fact that a 5'2" girl killed him, which that's already right there bullshit in my eyes. But the fact, the overall arc that he went on in the film, I think he gives a great performance. David Arquette does, but I just didn't like the way that they wrote that arc. So yeah, so that's kind of why I rank Scream 5 is my number 5.
Okay.
I actually just realized I went out of order, so I'm going to kick off number 4 as well, and just kind of follow that up. Scream 6 is my number 4. Pretty much everything that you guys said. I think what edges out 6 a little bit for me over 5 is that I cared about the new characters much more in this film. And like you said, Phil, it does feel a little weird not having a Scream film with Sidney Prescott. But I think that actually gave the new crop of characters their time to kind of shine. I feel like when you had the looming legacy characters in 5, that really didn't give them the push that they kind of needed to take charge. Where at the end of 6, I kind of felt like, hey, if none of those legacy characters come back, I think we actually have something here. It might not be as good as it was, when those legacy characters were there, but I think that they did a lot of good work there. I think like 85% of this movie is like my favorite Scream sequel, and then you get to the ending, like Ian said, and the not even just the reveal, just the way that whole ending sequence plays out. I am like, this is a completely different movie. Like you get the moment where Sam and Wayne, Dermot Mulroney's character, are like facing off after she kills Quinn, and he's pointing a gun at her, and he runs at her directly. He doesn't shoot the fucking gun.
Oh man!
I'm like, you had such a great buildup in this movie to this final sequence, and then of all the Scream movies, when you get the reveal, I think this movie shits the bed the worst out of any of them. If we would have did a ranking at worst to best on finales and reveals, dude, this would have been dead last by a country mile, because I think it's easily the worst third act of any of these movies. So for that reason, Scream 6 is number 4. What about you, Ian? What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Scream 2022, or Scream 5. I mean,
stopped calling it that, to be honest. I'm like, no, it's fine.
I know I need to just call it 5.
Yeah.
I go between the two for some reason, but it's just 5. But yeah, I mean, I think that like it was like the thing where you're trying to bring back the franchise. They get meta with it too, with Mindy bringing it up about this whole requel thing, what we're doing. I do think that I like that we get our legacy characters back, but in some ways I do feel like they can kind of feel placed in there because of that, not really because they're necessarily part of, what I mean, like as part of the plot. It should have been focused more on which it was somewhat, but I think overall I like this film because of the motive with Richie. I like Richie as a Ghostface. Amber's okay, but Richie, I don't mind the reveal about him being this extreme stab fan that just wants to make his own sequel, make his own movie. But I like our new cast of characters. The opening scene was pretty brutal, but doesn't like give us an actual kill, but it was meant to do that. But at the same time, like Phil said, double-edged sword for that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, I will say though, it's kind of weird. I liked it on this most recent rewatch, but it's funny because weirdly, some of the lines they gave Sidney and Gail just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it just felt a little forced in some areas. Because at least with Dewey, I kind of liked him throughout the entirety up until his death, which was unfortunate. The way he went out, but I was like, damn, they're actually going to kill a legacy character. So, they're trying to do something different. Yeah. But yeah, I think there's a lot of good things, but then a lot of like little faults, keeping it at number 4.
I wanted to add to that because I didn't even mention it when I talked about it. I absolutely hate the way that Dewey goes into that scene, because it's like, he's like, you got to shoot him in the head. Like they telegraphed that he was about to die. Like it was so like they just like put a big sign and said, "Okay, here's Dewey walking to his death." Like it wasn't surprising in any way, and that I think that kind of made it a little worse for me personally. But
okay, yeah.
Okay, so Phil, you're number 4.
My number 4 is also Scream 5,
Mhm.
and largely for the same reasons Ian mentioned. I mean, it's good, but it just kind of, you have villains with weak motivations. But comparatively to the other two movies that are below it, I have on mine, I'm like, their motivations are kind of more justifiable in this film than the other two. But I don't know, man. Like 2022 Scream 5, it's cool, but yeah, the other three I have above it are just better movies. Easily.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think it seems like we kind of all feel the same, where it's like 5 and 6 are kind of
Yep.
interchangeable just for different reasons, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Completely.
Okay, and then we will have Ian. You will kick off your top 3.
Okay. Oh, all 3?
Oh no, like number 3. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
Moving into the top 3.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so my number 3 is Scream 4. I do like the film. I like Jill as a ghost face. I like her reveal. I don't mind like we brought up the intro. It could, like, on rewatches, it's a little tiring to have that happen, but when I first watched it, it was pretty cool. Didn't mind it. And like you said, throughout, I was like, I liked the brutality of at the time too. Like for this movie was more brutal than the previous films before it. So it was pretty good kills. And I liked Sydney in it. She was really good. And Gail and everybody. The one thing I will say though that I kind of hinder it for in terms of like filmmaking is that it's way too glossy of a film.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And people bring it up all the time, but it is very apparent as much as I rewatch it. And I like the new side characters. Like I love Kirby. Kirby's amazing. I'm glad they brought her back for 6. She's a great addition to the franchise. I don't really care for Wes's mom in 5. What's her name?
Judy. Judy.
I don't really care for Judy. I'm sorry.
So
Unfortunately.
did you like? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But did you like her better in 4 than 5, or like?
Oh, sorry. No, I like her better in 5 than in 4. I don't
Okay.
like her much in 4, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, great kills. I like Jill as the ghost face. And I actually liked, like you said, we brought it up. Charlie was good up until it was his reveal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Up until he was revealed as Ghostface, I actually liked his character, but that kind of like hindered that a little bit. But I mean, overall, I really do like this film. And like you said, what we could have had if they had let it be a trilogy, it would have been nice, but it's okay. I mean, that's why it's right at 3 for me. So yeah.
Fair.
So we'll,
What about you, Phil? What's your number 3?
Scream 3.
Mhm.
Scream 3. Yeah, it's the old tale of the long lost brother coming back for revenge, and all that fun shit. Like again, I've been saying it all stream. It's a very underrated movie in my opinion. I have a very big soft spot for those first 3 films, and
Mhm.
it's not surprising that this one is in the 3rd spot for obvious reasons, but still, nonetheless,
Yeah.
all the performances in it fantastic. Even the kills might be a little lackluster comparatively, but still, like, I like that there's they're I actually like that they're mocking a film called Stab 3 and they're doing in the 3rd movie. I actually like that element.
Yeah.
I'm one of the people who does like that. So yeah, man, Scream 3 all day.
Okay.
Awesome.
So yeah, for me, my top 3 are all films that were directed by Wes Craven, written by Kevin Williamson. I think that is my recipe of like what I prefer from Scream. So mine's the same as Ian's. Scream 4. It's my number 3. I'll be honest, my top 3 have changed multiple times. In every time I rewatch the series, I think it changes. But yeah, as of right now, I would say Scream 4. Again, a little bit of nostalgia for me. It was the first movie, like I said before, that I experienced as it was happening. I got to see it in theaters. I kind of dealt with the whole hype of it going into it. I really like the themes. I love the commentary in the movie on remakes, because at that time, if you guys remember, it was right at the tail end of where every major horror franchise was being
Mhm.
right. So I thought it kind of had the commentary of 5, but it was just done a little bit more effectively, in my opinion. I think Kirby is one of the best side characters we've ever gotten. Phil obviously talked about how in 5 and 6 that Mindy is kind of like the new Randy. I thought Kirby was a much better iteration of that than Mindy was in 5 and 6. I think Jill's one of the better Ghostface, so that works for me as well. I also love, I think Nev Campbell was really good in that film. I thought you got a little bit of a little breakout performance from I can't remember her name, the assistant who's married to Dave Franco now.
Alison
Brie.
Alison Brie, yeah.
I thought that was a little sly. And the cast in the movie is insane. Like if you actually look at all the people that are in that movie, to me it was nuts that they got all those people to be a part of it. Like Adam Brody and Anthony Anderson play like two different cops in the movie. I'm like, this cast is crazy.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just like that style of like, I like Kevin Williamson's writing when it comes to Scream, and I like the style that him and Wes Craven provide in their movies. So number 3 is Scream 4 for me. So we'll go to number 2, and Phil, you'll be first.
My number 2 is the original movie Scream.
Wow. Okay.
Which
I don't think I'm even really as surprised on that placement as what you're excluding, but yes.
Yeah. No, my number 2 is the original, and I think it's very fine. I think it's great. I think it's good, beautiful movie. Set the stage for the franchise. I like 2 more.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. My number 2 is Scream 2. That one is one that I think has rotated kind of in and out of my top 3 depending on the mood I'm in. But one that I think is like slowly, definitively getting that spot. Like it's like securing it more and more every time I rewatch it. I love everything about it. I think it's the fact that they made that movie in a year in 1997, turned around and made Scream 2, to me is one of the most incredible feats in Hollywood, to be honest with you. Like when you look at Scream 5 and 6, it's like, yeah, that was a year after, but it also 5 was super delayed because of COVID and everything. So it wasn't really that. Like they actually like filmed, wrote, and made Scream 1 and 2 within a year. So that to me is such an impressive feat. Like I said, the death of Randy is something that affected me on a whole other level. The fact that they actually killed an original character from the original movie. I talk about the core 4 from Scream 5 and 6. To me, going into Scream 2, they were the core 4 with the 3 of them, and then Randy, and then they axed them off. I love the rules that were introduced about the sequels. I think everything was kind of executed flawlessly in there. The meta commentary, it was before, like I said, I felt like it was the last movie where the meta didn't fully take over the story. It was kind of more of just a background to explain the rules and everything. I love everything about Scream 2. And it's not that far off from 1, I'll be honest. So like I kind of understand, Phil, why you would rank Scream 2 as your favorite. Just not mine.
Yeah.
Ian, what about you?
Yeah, I have Scream 2 at number 2, but it's pretty neck and neck, especially on the rewatch I did recently. But I've always liked 2 and 1, and funny enough, I was kind of close, but 2 ended up as 2. Like all the reasons y'all say. I love the new setting of the college. I like our new cast of characters we get with Sydney and her friend, and then her new boyfriend, which is actually a good guy. Subverting that boyfriend thing that happened with Billy. Again, a fantastic reveal with Mrs. Loomis at the end. That was great. I love that way it was revealed. And I also like Mickey, even before he's Ghostface. I like his scenes, in particular when he's like trying to hype everyone up and getting in the cafeteria. But there's a lot of good. I like it all, and also it has great kills, of course. Great Ghostface kills, especially the cop with the pole, but and also that whole car scene, also pretty tense, like trying to get out of the car. That was a good scene. I like that a lot. But Scream 2, number 2. So
okay. So we will go to number 1. I'll kick that off. I mean, obviously the original. Again, another one that it's like we can't really say anything that hasn't already been said. Defined a genre of horror. great performances, the two best killers in my eyes of the franchise. A little bit subdued. Like that was the one thing I noticed rewatching it. I actually went and saw it in theaters on this rewatch.
Okay.
They did like the re-release. I think it was like back in November or maybe a little around Halloween.
Yeah.
I don't remember when it was exactly, but I went and saw it in theaters, and I was like, "Yeah, this is such a great movie." I can't really think of any flaws about it. And that's the same. And honestly, that's kind of the same thing with Scream 2. It's like both of those top two movies. It's like I don't really have any negatives. It's kind of just like which one do I prefer on the day, right? Like that's just where I'm at with it. But I always think like the duo of killers, like I'm assuming I don't know if we agree on this, but I think there's never been a stronger duo of killers than in the original. Like because even like I know Phil, like you preferred Nancy to Mickey, I preferred Mickey to Nancy, but like I don't know if there was like two killers combined that had a stronger dynamic than Billy and Stu. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
No,
I don't know if you thought Scream too, but yeah.
I wouldn't argue against it. I mean,
yeah.
You know, Roman's obviously not in that conversation because he was solo.
Because he was by himself, yeah.
So that only leaves, you know, Jill and Charlie and Richie and
Amber. Yeah.
And then of course you have the Bailey family. So
yeah.
You know,
we don't
right. So your options are, you know,
pretty much just them.
Yeah, two high school nerds or two internet chuds.
Yeah.
You know,
like
take your pick.
So it's I don't know if one's ever going to be dethroned for me personally. It's a very high mountain to climb. So so I'm assuming Ian, same thing, just by process of elimination.
Yeah.
Anything else you can add to that? Pretty much.
Yeah, we've said it all. You know, it's a great film. Like you said, very few flaws with it. One of the best duos, best ghost faces, in my opinion, too. As well as like, you know, great performances all around. Yeah, I mean, especially it being the start of the franchise, you also, if it was new to you when you first watched it, it's a nice setting as well. Woodsboro has just always been a nice setting for the for the movies. But yeah, it's also shot pretty well, and I rewatching it too. I find it funny that in the scene where Sydney's in her house, I'm like, damn, they have a nice ass house.
Sydney,
Sydney has a nice ass house. Anyway, but yeah,
her house might be better than Stu's. Honestly, I was like,
I think it is, but
holy shit.
Yeah, but Stu has a great Stu and Billy have a great dynamic. And yeah. And Randy's great. I love classic Randy in the first movie, just giving us the rules and everything. So, yeah, there's just a lot to love. So, anyway, that's my number one. And Phil?
And then, I was going to say, so Phil, what would you say that your 1 and 2 ever switch, or has it always definitively been 2 for you?
No, I think it's always been 2. And I think it's largely, you know, Laurie Metcalf, number 1. I just love that woman to death. She's an amazing actress. And again, the twist of her being Mrs. Loomis, forever ingrained in my soul. Just really, really great twist I did not see coming then, and it still plays out really well now. Obviously, if you know about it, you know about it, so there's no going back. But even still, like, it's a great twist. And I just really think that movie does subvert a lot of expectations in the right way. You know, they killed Randy. You had a brand new villain come out of nowhere, and it still ties back to the first film. You had this... you know, big, husking, hulking, massive person in the form of Mickey just murking people left and right. Like, it's... And Sydney is now trying to figure out, like, who can I trust? Can I even trust my boyfriend? Like, it's trauma all over again, dude. It's just a really great sequel and a really great franchise. So, man.
I will say, too, I think Mickey is the only one that actually, like, matches his, like, physicality of his stunt double.
I think
like,
so, yeah.
Yeah. Like some other people, like Stu's close in height, but he's like kind of scrawnier, right? And then, but Mickey, he was like, no, he's tall and he's got the size for it too. So, if they would have told me that Timothy Oliphant was in the costume the whole time, I would have been like,
I believe it.
Checks out.
I believe it. Okay. Well, shit. We almost went 2.5 hours talking about Scream. I didn't think we were going to go that long, but you know, shit happened. So, So, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I would like to reconvene once the release of Scream 7 happens and kind of
sure, that'd be fun.
Maybe talk about some spoilers on that and see where these rankings where what Scream 7's killers, openings, the movie itself ranks among our rankings. I think that would be nice. So
yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna get out of here. I gotta go to work. I'm already kind of behind where we were supposed to be.
Oh,
it's okay.
okay.
Yeah, it tends to happen. So Phil, where can we find you?
Vero, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok at Unfiltered, just right down there.
Yeah.
Yep. And what about you, Ian?
Yeah. Ian_movies_ on TikTok. Just movie reviews, comic book day, hauls, and yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
And then you guys are watching on AG Reviews, my page. I got like 5 reviews out in the last week because I was sick, and I am completely fried from doing content right now, to be honest. But I'll keep shrugging away. It is what it is. More reviews coming. I'm going to go see what should be very highly praised and universally loved by everyone. I'm going to go see The Strangers Chapter 3 this weekend.
Oh,
and
there
put
you
out
go.
a review for that. Because the first 2 movies are classics,
Of course, yeah.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, so that torture. It can't be as bad though as Return to Silent Hill was. I saw that last week, and
okay.
so all right,
Okay.
but that is it
alrighty
for
then.
us. Yeah, that was my reaction after walking out the theaters. So all right, guys, that's it for us. Everyone, have a great night. See ya.
Toodles.
Mm-hmm.